6:04. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Breland producing. Starting off your, what is it, today's Thursday? Man, this week has been a month.
Yeah, today's Thursday.
This week has been a month. Starting off your Thursday at 68 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We're broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros. Is it time for your IT to do a 180? Visit 180pros.com. Stacked up show for you today, y'all. Guest list wise, obviously, yesterday's Supreme Court ruling changed the nature of today's show completely. In fact, we're going to blow out top stories and trending at 7 o'clock to talk with Dr. Robert Hogan, LSU political science professor, about what exactly we do next. Pleading ignorance here. I mean, we're going to go in pleading ignorance, right? How do you open the polls on Saturday when on Wednesday the Supreme Court said the congressional districts you're about to go vote in are unconstitutional? Legit questions. So I'll give you the full rundown in a minute. Let's get on with top stories and trending. Boom, 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 boom. Am I seeing this right? Is this still going on? Number 5 starts us up on the interstate. I believe this is still happening. Our news partners, WBRZ reporting. You heard it in traffic just a minute ago, I'm sure. I-10 westbound was closed on the west side of the Mississippi River this morning due to a crash involving 3 different 18-wheelers. So if you're headed westbound, if you're headed towards Lafayette, you're going to eventually see. Yeah, okay. You're eventually going to see some problems as a result of this crash. Was first reported around 2:30 this morning. It happened in between Raymond and Gross Tate, just before the Atchafalaya Basin Bridge. So I guess Lobdell's where you're going to have to hop off. I'm looking at the interstate right now. There are 2 different spots of backups. The primary backup is by Lobdell, where you would hop off, because after that, the interstate's closed, so there's no reason for it to be backed up at that point. So we'll have it for you in traffic throughout the morning. Several East Baton Rouge Metro Council members testified before the Attorney General's office Wednesday morning as part of an ongoing corruption probe. Council members Rowdy Gode, Daryl Hurst, Denise Amoroso, Brandon Knoll, and Anthony Kenny were all subpoenaed as witnesses. Amoroso and Knoll were actually dismissed before they testified. This, of course, is about the Katz case involving Perlita Thomas, Jay Kohler, and Cleve Dunn. Groundbreaking on the Calcasieu River Bridge, a project Governor Jeff Landry says is the largest infrastructure job in the state's history. The groundbreaking was yesterday. The bridge will cost $2.3 billion. It's said to be complete by 2030. A special grand jury has indicted Orleans Parish Sheriff Susan Hudson with less than a week to go in her 4-year term. The Attorney General's office announced the indictment yesterday, saying Hudson is named in 30 counts alleging malfeasance and payroll fraud. The agency's chief financial officer, Bianca Brown, is named in 20 counts. I mean, obviously, the number one story today is the SCOTUS ruling, but I want to stick with one other headline real quick because I saw some stuff that might have me a little bit nervous. Here we go. Baton Rouge rapper Cleasy 5, whose real name is Wes Clark, was killed in a shooting outside of a gym along Woodcrest Drive. Clark is reportedly associated with TBG, Top Boy Gorilla Rap Collective, and artist Fredo Bang. Baton Rouge Police Department said the shooting was reported around 12:30 p.m. at a gym along Woodcrest just off Greenwell Springs Road. No arrests have been made. However, there's a number of Facebook posts just kind of floating around for the public to see that suggest retaliation is on the way.
Whoa.
Right. So just with last Thursday at the mall in mind, right?
Yeah.
With that in mind, there's no way to guarantee that retaliation is going to stay within the friendly confines of wherever gangs
Absolutely
roam.
not.
Right.
At this point, no.
I know. So I throw that out there, not to scare anybody, but when the Facebook post, and I screen grabbed it too.
I was going to say, can you read part of that post?
Where are my pictures at? Did I lose my photo album somehow? Well, this is strange. My photo album's gone. I got to figure out how to find it.
Real life radio, live radio.
Well, yeah, but it's like gone.
Go to the top of the apps and type photos.
Yeah.
You can pull it up that way.
Okay. A Facebook post yesterday said Baton Rouge about to turn into a bloodbath behind this dude being killed. And they spelled killed with an exclamation point instead of an I. So
it wouldn't be flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Brian, this ain't good.
I know.
Ooh. Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, Admiral Kevin Lunday, says the Homeland Security and Justice correspondent Nicole Skanga in an exclusive interview that the Coast Guard is running out of funds to pay its personnel.
I saw that story.
Find a way to pay them.
I know, right?
I was reading online too. I did.
What I didn't like about the story is that, but like you got the commandant of the Coast Guard, he says that somebody else said, but they said that he said that somebody else said.
She said.
Right. He said that she said in an interview. Well, it's like, why not just go to the interview?
Right.
And then now you've got it straight from the person who said it.
Well, the operational impact, I was reading online saying the shutdown has disrupted military operations, with the Coast Guard leadership describing the situation as a horror movie. Several Coast Guard stations across the U.S. have lost power, water, or gas due to overdue utility bills, on top of not paying its personnel. So what is going on?
I don't know.
Wow. A new report from the Reporters Without Borders finds that press freedom is now at its lowest point worldwide since the group started tracking it in 2002.
I would like to know more about that. Oh, by the way, because
press freedom is now at its
It also says the U.S. dropped 7 spots from last year's index and is now down to an all-time low, 64th out of 180 countries. The legal indicator is what fell the most in this index, meaning the legal conditions are deteriorating for journalists worldwide. I don't.
Ooh.
But whose fault is this?
Right.
We live in a clickbait world now, don't we?
Yeah, and you gotta.
So aren't more and more people going to be taking more and more legal risks in order to make sure the click-through happens?
Right. And find ways to sensationalize stories.
Right.
More.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Weekend 2 of Jazz Fest starts today. It's going to be beautiful this weekend too.
Well, you got to get through today and tomorrow. You got to get through today and tomorrow to get to the beautiful, though.
So say Saturday or Sunday, it's going to be gorgeous for Jazz Fest. Now the bands today. So today's bands, you got Widespread Panic, Leela James, Fred Wesley. So those are today. A lot of I haven't heard. I just haven't heard of them. Now tomorrow, Lainey Wilson, the Black Keys, Ziggy Marley, Dragon Smoke, Mark Broussard, Tab Benoit. Saturday, the Eagles, Alabama Shakes, T-Pain, Big Frida. And then Sunday, going to close it out with Teddy Swims, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Trombone Shorty. So come Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah, but like looking at today and tomorrow, though, if you're going to going
to see maybe Lainey, it's going to be a washout.
It's a 95% chance of rain tomorrow.
You know what's crazy, Brian? She just performed at Stagecoach in California.
Okay.
Her set time had to be moved back to like 10:30 that night. I think originally 8 o'clock because of just a washout.
Yeah.
Watch the same thing happen to her tomorrow.
Probably. All right, we got a break real quick. It is 6:14 to Talk 107.3 FM. Tell you what, before we hit that break, let me give you the full rundown of guests. Haggai Davis coming in for a cup of tech gumbo in half an hour. We got Professor Robert Hogan at 7:05 talking about the Supreme Court ruling. We got Donnie Miller from the Ascension Parish Chamber at 7:15. Crimestoppers at 7:35. Emily Chenevert, State Representative Emily Chenevert, going to clean up. If you were listening yesterday, we had a segment that was really not what was intended. And went kind of sideways as a result of it. Emily's going to come in clean up. She's got a House bill about early childhood education and daycare safety and whatnot. We'll talk about that at 8:05. It's almost time for a night market here in Baton Rouge. Laura Sue Wynn's going to join us at 8:15, and then back to the Supreme Court ruling with Scott McKay at 8:35. Quick break. Sports is next. That's what we are. We are one love bizarre. Who's the live after 5 this week?
Something rumbles and Intune. Let me look.
Do we know who's emceeing this week? Is it me? Marlo's emceeing.
Okay. No live after 5 this week. We're taking a break off. Next weekend, it'll be. No, we're off this week.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I heard a commercial for it on the way in. Because this week is.
No, I swear. Because I was sitting on the sun with Jay, and I was like, "We're off next week," and he goes, "Yes, thank God." Hang on. No, we're off. So
okay.
That commercial shouldn't have ran. I did Nathan and his Zydeco Cha-Chas. May 1st, we're off. Next week, Marler's doing the Rumble and Intune. After that, Big Sam's Funky Nation, Brittany Rose is doing that. You're doing Rouge Crew. They're closing out May 22nd. No, I was sitting on a stump with Jay, and he's like, "I'm exhausted. Thank God we don't have a lot of spot next week." So that spot should have never ran.
That's why I thought the spot was off, was because I was 90% sure we were off. Now, that being said, Crawfish King Cook-Off is still going, right? Well, it was a Crawfish King spot, but I thought I said something about live after 5.
Unless they were like live after 5 picks up next weekend.
I don't know.
Hey, good morning. How are you, Haggai? I've never seen you with this.
That's just lazy.
Good morning. Yep. All right, we're at 6:18 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane. Rolling right along LSU baseball. After grabbing a much-needed win over Southeastern. Who would have thought the program would be in such disarray that picking up a midweek win over Southeastern would be called much-needed? But such as it is, Tigers have recently seen some strong production from a lot of the freshmen. Coach Jay Johnson taking note of playing said freshmen. I believe these young stars are making the team more competitive in real time.
Since we inserted those guys, we've scored 8 runs in 5 consecutive games, and we look like our team in all 3 of those games offensively. Now we got to play better defense, and then we just got to pitch better, period. And that's no secret coming off the weekend.
Yeah, Tigers bats are heating up, but the pitching struggles are there. Tigers have allowed 36 runs over their last 5 games. They rank last in the SEC with a 5.32 ERA. Johnson says pitching Coach Nate Yeski and Director of Pitching Development Jamie Tutko met to address the issues, and says the staff has to execute better in order to turn things around.
Particularly Coach Yeski and Jamie, they're very passionate about getting this right. And we will. I don't know if that's going to be in time to be a postseason team this year or not. I think we can go out and win every game that we play. I believe that. And I think we can pitch well enough to win every game that we play. We need some guys to pitch better than they have.
Will we see Case and Evans this week? That will remain to be seen. And yeah, there are numerous issues with pitching, but we got a break. So here's the Fox Business Report. No. Ever since taking on the news, Rotary's become like a job.
Mm.
And like, I mean, there's a few speakers I'll get something out of, but like, I'm in such a rush to get there that like every week I'm in such a rush to get there. Just, I don't know. I got to get back in a groove with it. I'm just so exhausted overall, you know? And that's not Rotary's fault. But
got a vacation coming up?
No. Oh, hey, next Friday, May 8th. You want to fill in for the last hour?
Sure.
Okay, good.
And I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died.
I'm telling you, they need to mix this commercial with the ZipRecruiter.
She's doing a good job at throwing Trump.
No, the ZipRecruiter is how she finds her next husband.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't send you the Troy Carter thing, did I?
Who, me?
Yeah. Let me work on this. Shit. Yeah, I need vacation in a bad way. All right, let's go ahead and start off on the interstates. Yes, obviously we're still seeing problems on I-10 westbound on the other side of the bridge, as it is just straight up closed all the way, closed in between Gross Tate and Rama, due to an overnight accident involving 3 18-wheelers, which means you're going to have to be rerouted. If you're heading towards Lafayette, you're going to be rerouted by Lobdell or Highway 415. So you're seeing delays on 10 westbound as you come off the downslope of the bridge. Actually, the delays start right after the Highway 1 exit. So if you're hopping off in Port Allen, wanted to take Highway 1 up to 190 to scooch around, get out in front before you have to get in it, that's not a bad idea. Here in town, I-12 westbound is your normal level of congestion, your normal level of volume around the Range Avenue exit, and then picks back up as you come into town. 10 west from Ascension Parish on in looks good. And, of course, 110 is looking good in both directions. Surface streets, let's hit you up real quick on what's going on the surface streets here in Baton Rouge, because we have a couple of different incidents that are on the board. Bear in mind, they're all at least a half an hour old. There was an accident, or I should say some blockage, Florida at North 5th Street. That's right by St. Vincent. North 15th Street. That's right by St. Vincent de Paul. That was slow going a little while ago, as was Airline Highway at Montesano. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. All right, I just sent you 624, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Before we dive in on anything else, let me remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is their website, FlyBTR.com, if you want to check them out online. If you're making your plans for anything from your family's summer vacation to getting business done in our nation's capital, quite honestly, FlyBTR.com. Direct flight into Washington, D.C., leaves out every morning, lands at Reagan National. So you're not flying in the outskirts like Dulles or Baltimore. You're flying right into the heart of it with Reagan National. And then you come back home same evening. You can literally get your business done and sleep in your own bed at night. FlyBTR.com. Also, while I'm telling you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, Delta has added flights to direct flights for LSU football, right? Delta has added a flight for the Kentucky game and the Tennessee game. And if you're bringing someone in from Clemson, Alabama, or, I'm forgetting the other one right now because I'm doing this by memory. Regardless, if you're bringing someone in for away games, check out flybtr.com. See if they've got that direct flight set up. It leaves out on a Friday, returns on a Sunday, so you get your whole game day to enjoy. Flybtr.com. All right, obviously the big news yesterday was the Supreme Court ruling on the congressional maps, Louisiana versus Calais. We have seen over the last, 20 hours, the response from just about everybody out there. Everybody who has had an opportunity to sound off has sounded off. For example, Attorney General Liz Murrill, she put out she actually held a press conference about it. But basically the long and the short of it is, you're seeing the exact same alignment that you saw before this was heard, I should say. Over in the state capitol, there was a joint statement put out from Senate President Cameron Henry and House Speaker Philip DeVilliers. Within that joint statement, it says, we're aware of the United States Supreme Court's ruling today in Louisiana versus Calais case, striking down Louisiana's second majority black congressional district as unconstitutional and remanding the case back to the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Louisiana. We're reviewing that ruling and meeting with our members, representatives from the executive branch, elections officials, and council to determine next steps to be taken in the best interests of Louisiana's voters and our state. They're talking about what's next. They're not talking about specifically their take on the ruling. But you've seen numerous takes on the ruling, specifically those who are speaking out saying it's a bad call. For example, Congressman Troy Carter, who visits with us just about every week at Tuesdays at 8:35, little DC Current presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Congressman Carter's stance on this hasn't changed from the beginning, and he was, none too happy yesterday, to be sure.
Hi, this is Congressman Troy Carter. You may have read today the ruling from the Supreme Court of Louisiana v. Calais came out. And yes, it's devastating for the Voting Rights Act. It's devastating for Louisiana. But more than just Louisiana, it's a direct attack on voting rights across our country, from school boards to legislative seats to city council seats, and yes, congressional seats. While the focal point was Louisiana and the 6th congressional district, this impacts the entire state and our entire country. We have to remain vigilant, stay tuned, stay activated, stay involved. We are not going to give in. We're not going to quit, and we're going to win. But we're going to win when we continue to vote.
So the congressman has remained steadfast in his take of it's simple math. And he and I have disagreed on this from the beginning. And by the way, if you listen to the show for any period of time, those were some fun conversations, because it's a disagreement that starts in the right place. It's a disagreement with, there's what I believe, there's what he believes. And it's not about party on either side. I know there are party alignments there, but it's not about party. Or at least for me, it's not. For me, it's not about like, oh, how are we getting more Republicans in? For me, it's about what makes up a congressional district. What is it that actually makes up a congressional district? Is it counting the number of black people you have and figuring out a way to zigzag or create a diagonal across the state in order to amass the right number of people that meet the right number demographically? Or is it about having a map that looks like the state itself, a map that looks like a group of people who have a number of things in common, regardless of race. The Supreme Court has now ruled twice that this district, last time it looked a little more Zorro-esque, but has now ruled twice that force-feeding a district to match Cleo Fields' needs has been unconstitutional. We saw it before, and now we've seen it again. Now, forget about your take altogether as to whether or not you think that zigzag diagonal district that covers 11 different parishes, scrapes 3 different metros in order to amass the right amount of black people. Forget about if you think that's gerrymandered. The bigger question right now is, what the hell happens on Saturday? Early voting opens up for an unconstitutional map, unconstitutional districts. That's what we're going to talk with Professor Robert Hogan about at 7:05. Right now, here comes news.
There's no guarantee that Troy Carter keeps his district.
There's no way in this earth. I understand. We're going to talk with Scott McKay about that as well at 8:35. But there is no way anybody takes a black district away from New Orleans. There's just no way. Sorry. I would.
But I mean, Carter's district gerrymanders up.
It does, but it's not nearly as egregious. Not nearly as egregious as traversing 4 area codes.
Not disagreeing with you. I'm just.
Also, this is neither here nor there, but I would love to know how and or why Sheila E. is stuck in my head.
At least it's better than Anita Award. Ring my bell.
Oh God.
So, what's the story, Brian? It was Gen Z.
No, yeah, Gen Z believes that if you listen to Anita Ward Ring My Bell consecutively for 3 days, you'll get rich. I don't know the incidents.
But we don't know. It was in our top story.
That was from my high school.
Right.
Yeah, it's 1979.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God.
I mean, I remember being in Morgan City High School gym dancing to that stupid song.
It's a ridiculous song. It's cheesy.
At the time, everybody thought it was about taking cocaine. That's what the back in the day. That's when you use cocaine and it rings your bell or something like that.
Oh, so people thought that was the high you get from cocaine.
Yes.
Huh.
That's what we always thought the song was about way back then. None of us. I'd never done cocaine. I have no idea. I have no idea. It could have just been a disco song. I mean.
Damn, y'all.
The first Louisiana patient to receive sickle cell gene therapy is back at home after 6 weeks at the Manning Family Children's Hospital in New Orleans. Gene therapy program director Dr. Benjamin Watkins says.
I always thought Ring My Bell was like a 70s version of a booty call.
Says this new FDA-approved treatment can provide a functional cure for sickle cell. Talk 107.3 Baton Rouge.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Westbound I-10 remains closed between Baton Rouge and Lafayette due to a crash involving multiple 18-wheelers. Traffic is being detoured off at LA 415. Now, there's a little bit better news for those of you who are caught behind the accident. They are allowing that traffic to pass in the left lane. So those folks who've been sitting for hours are able to get through now, but again, new traffic is being detoured off at 415, take 190 from there. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Rented off here. When a company that has a true lifetime warranty, LeakWindows.com, baby.
Here's TLT searching up and down for diesel GLP-1s that got spun around.
Till Blue and Orange Road, and hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags in red.
Clear prices from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door, pick up same day. Dark too.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I put it to GoodRx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Maybe yours. Join us at EasterSeals.com.
Talk 107.3 weather.
We saw our first round of showers and thunderstorms overnight, and we have much more on the way. For your Thursday, we're going to see spotty activity through the first half of the day, and then potentially another wave or batch of some scattered showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon, evening, some eastern back that PM highs getting to near 80 degrees. Overnight, we see more scattered showers and activity turns pretty widespread.
So, want to do the story of the guy with the poly market betting. He took a hairdryer to the thermostat outside of Paris.
How did I miss that one?
That's the hairdryer rigged weather bets.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yes. 636 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Going to get you to Cup of Tech Gumbo in just a quick second. Got to remind you about Landmark Bank, landmarkbankla.com. Community bank since 1897. That's saying something, y'all. That's literally half the lifespan of America. Who can say that their company has remained true to their mission for that long? I mean, we're not far behind them here at Guarantee. We're celebrating our 100th year right now. But 1897 to now, that's a dead-gum long time. Now, they've grown into a few new communities since then. If you want to learn more, visit landmarkbankla.com. Hit that little About Us tab, and you will be able to go from there to the individual locations in Clinton, Zachary, Bruley, and the like. There's more out there. But when you have a community bank, you've got a community banker, and that makes all the difference. Learn more at landmarkbankla.com. All right, time for Cup of Tech Gumbo.
It's time for a cup of Tech Gumbo. That sounds good. I'll have that. Haggai Davis talks technology news using language even Brian can understand.
You just don't get it.
I don't have your head for science, so I'm not going to be able to help much. For a full survey, check out Tech Gumbo, Saturdays at 11 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m.
We got 30 years worth of files right here in this computer. They're going to bring you down.
A cup of Tech Gumbo on Talk 107.3.
I'm sorry. Wrong password.
Welcome aboard, Haggai. How are you?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you?
I'm very well on this end, to be sure.
Awesome.
Lot to cover today, and yeah, we're going to lead off with a story that I don't know how I skipped it. I just scrolled right past this deadgum thing, and I find it fascinating. You brought it up a little while ago. Now I'm looking at it, and it's, someone allegedly used a hairdryer to rig poly market weather bets.
Yes, this is quite the if you're going to manipulate something and win, using these future markets, we've talked about Kalshi and poly market here in the last several weeks because it's been in the news a lot. Well, a guy in Paris figured out that the thermostat outside of the Charles de Gaulle airport, that's like you go to Baton Rouge, the official weather temperature is out there at Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Well, same thing in Paris. You can bet on is the temperature going to be over or below whatever the prediction is. This guy found out where that one particular thermometer was.
Okay.
And he took a battery operated hairdryer and he got underneath the thermometer and lit that thing up so that the temperature spiked over, and he bet just enough money over a certain amount of time to where he won about $35,000.
Okay.
And somebody started figuring out, wait a minute, this is an airport.
Right.
We are very, 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 very particular about our weather out at airports. And when the rest of the city was, pick a number, and you're 10, 15 degrees over that,
right.
Something's going on. And they caught the guy out there with the hair dryer.
Oh, red-handed. Okay.
Red-handed. And had he only been making, and it wasn't like he was betting a lot of money, but he bet enough to where at $34,000, $35,000, it kind of was like, hey, wait a minute, what's this guy out there doing? Unlike the soldier who bet $40,000 in one or $35,000 on whether or not Maduro would be removed from Venezuela.
I'm still torn on that, by the way. I'm still torn on that.
This guy, but he won $400,000,
right?
Which is life-changing money. And there's pictures of him on the boat, on the ship that was taking Maduro away.
Right.
So they don't know that this guy was part of the extraction team, but people are manipulating these futures markets, these Kalshis and poly markets. When you know how to manipulate, you can go out there and win yourself a lot of money. It's not like when you're betting on a sports game, you can't sit there as a non-athlete and impact the outcome of the spread.
Right.
But on these prediction markets, things like this, you can.
Well, and you say you can't, okay? You say you can't. But can we all go back to the mid-90s and the rumors surrounding Michael Jordan's flu game? Was he, the rumors that were he was there was food poisoning from the night before. So, and that's where I'm going with this, is if we're going to see an influx of people trying to influence these markets, why wouldn't someone be going and pulling smoke alarms, pulling fire alarms in a visiting team's hotel and then taking the under the next night?
Or taking a pipe to one of the ice skaters' knees outside of the Olympics.
Why?
Exactly.
It's the best impression I do, by the way.
And it's good.
Thank you.
So when you see these types of activities.
Oh, sorry. That was a Nancy Kerrigan thing for anybody who's under the age of 40. I'm just now realizing that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was 30 something years ago.
34.
Yeah.
It was a 92 Winter Olympics, right?
Something like that.
Now I got to look that up, but keep going.
But, so here you have this what seems to be an innocent, hey, this futures market games where we're betting on whether or not the temperature is going to go over a certain, prediction level.
94.
94.
So
okay.
32 years ago.
32. Or whether or not, different political events happen, or something like removing a foreign leader out of, being manipulated by people who were in the know, who were actually fixing the bets, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to, well, how much can you trust all of this?
Right. And if you don't have trust in it, then the whole thing's going to fall apart.
And so that's why, that's why we talk about these things on our show, because this is in the news, and this is all about technology and manipulating through digital transactions.
So what happens to every other bet that's on the same thing, or every other investment that's on the same thing?
Well, those they're not going to take that money back from the guy. Everybody, if you're in Paris betting on that temperature and you weren't holding the thermometer, the hair dryer underneath it, how are they going to take that money back from you?
Well, and that's the other part, is and the other part is how much juice how much action are they seeing on individual things, like what's the temperature going to be in Paris? I can't imagine a whole lot of people are lining up for that bet.
I mean, is there out there, can you go bet on the temperature in Morgan City tomorrow?
Probably.
I mean, how many people, there's not that many people who live in Morgan City and even know it's on the map anymore.
Right.
Much less are wagering on whether or not the temperature is going to be 85 degrees or more.
Right.
So, yeah, if there's 10 people voting on or betting on, investing on it, not betting.
Right.
Is that enough to where that market can even exist? Or how much needs to be out there for this to happen?
Now that the weather guy clearly doing wrong here. Your boy betting on Maduro. I'm torn on this because he's betting on himself.
True.
Like he says we're going to get this. Now he has inside information that he's going to get the guy, but if you bet that if you're the one going to get the guy, and you say I'm gonna put a couple bucks on this because I have faith in what I'm going to do when I get there. Yes, you have the information which affects the odds.
If he bets $500 and it turns into 10 grand, nobody's going to know the difference.
Right.
You bet $35,000 and it turns into 400,000.
Right.
People are going to take notice of that. And the thing about the soldier or the sailor who did this, as soon as he made the bet and won, he started trying to change everything. Like he changed his email address, he changed, the name on the account. He tried to just cover his tracks because all of a sudden he realized, oh no, this is probably not good that I did this in my own name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here on the ship and this is probably not going to look good. So, again, if you're going to be out there doing something like this, use an alias,
right? Or just have a friend do it.
Throw a Gmail account out there. Have somebody back home do it. Don't do it from the deck of the ship. Be a little more smart about it.
It's not too much to ask. Tell you what, we're going to break here in just a second. When we come back, we got a couple of other topics we're going to cover. Haggai Davison for a cup of tech gumbo. While I have a moment before break, let me remind you about Neurojust. NEUROJUST. Neurojust.com is the website. If you or someone you know is battling with anxiety or depression and the sit-down, talk-it-out therapy isn't really taking for you, if it is, stay with it. Or the prescription meds, the antidepressants aren't taking for you, if they are, stay with them. But if you haven't found your treatment niche yet, give Neurojust a look. They specialize in transcranial magnetic stimulation, aka TMS therapy. It targets the areas of the brain that affect mood. And it's more like physical therapy for the brain rather than just popping a pill and calling it a day. Like I said, learn more at neurojust.com, neurojust.com. And oh, by the way, your insurance picks up the tab. If you or someone you know is battling with anxiety or depression, seriously, give them a look at neurojust.com. Sorry, my clock just went synchronizing. It's synchronizing, so I lost track of my... That's what I've got. This is gonna be a rough day. I had an allergy attack yesterday, and I'm still stuffed up. But I don't know why. But it just...
My wife Paula's been fighting a cold the past week, and somehow or another I've not caught it.
But with today's lineup and just all of it,
so you want to go to this the new surveillance thing inside of cars?
Yes.
Because that's kind of scary.
Actually, scammers in Facebook.
Okay, go there too. The thing about that surveillance in the cars,
mm-hmm.
If it works perfectly, okay, great. But if it doesn't, and the automobile manufacturers are saying it ain't ready for prime time, now you start getting false positives or false negatives.
Right.
False negative. Hey, I must be sober. It doesn't. It's let the car start. Now you got a drunk on the road.
Wow.
False positive. And I hadn't anything to drink, and it won't let my car start. Now you're stranded. Just because your eyes are dilated. So you go to eye doctor, you're screwed.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Buying or selling a home in Baton Rouge, Mid-City Title makes closing easy. Mobile closings, expert services, midcitytitle.com.
No, got a Young Entrepreneurs Academy steering committee meeting this morning after the show. And I fall asleep on those on a regular basis. It's a fight to stay awake. So. Oh, good morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo. Oh. Got to lay in bed and drink some wine with my wife last night. That was nice.
Hey.
I know.
I bet Christy loved it.
Yeah, well, she fell asleep. She actually, she joined the same gym as me. We have Y membership, but the Y is so far away from the house that it's impossible to get over there.
So she's getting back into it.
Yeah.
She's sore and
Not sore yet. She's probably sore today, but she went to the gym yesterday. It's like we're trying to get a routine of where she's like can go regularly. So I cut my workout short in order to take care of like picking up kids and whatnot.
AC Lewis?
Right. It's like you're not going to make excuses because you can't. You're going to go.
No going to AC Lewis?
No, AC Lewis is way too far from the house. That's the closest one to us. Like I'll go to AC Lewis if we go to Club 4 Fitness now. I joined.
$10 a month, something like that.
That's not real. They upsell you very quickly. You can work out for $10 a month, but you have to pay for the full year in advance.
So that's just the billboard terminology.
Yeah, it you can do $10 a month, but you don't want to. It's $25.99, which really isn't bad when you can consider all the services. Yes.
That's what I thought.
But like if I'm going to work out before carpool, I'll go to AC Lewis because then I'm right there by Mercy. But like other than that, it's nowhere near the house. So that's the point. It's like she's never gonna make it over there. Anyway, yeah, she had a workout yesterday. And
it's like the beautiful people at Manship. I'm not pretty enough to go there.
It's been the Manship. They're not pretty. No.
Full of makeup. When you put makeup on to go work out.
No.
Out there by Pennington. I mean at the
Perkins
and
I used to go there all the time. No. I guess it depends on what you're talking about.
I know. I've seen him on Saturday mornings there.
6:52, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got Haggai Davis in for a cup of tech gumbo. We're to talk. If we have time, we'll talk about your car surveilling you. But before that, I wanted to get into this story here, Haggai. This social network was the primary hunting ground for scammers in 2025. It says, sorry, Meta, scammers love using Facebook to pull off their investment and romance scams, contributing to a staggering $2.1 billion in social media-related losses for Americans last year. This makes sense, and at the same time, I find it surprising.
So in 2025, the total was about $5 billion in scamming in the online market. But of that, yes, 2.1 billion was on the Meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram. And part of that is generational. The people who are still most likely to be on Facebook are the older folks, people my age or older, who are much more susceptible to being scammed. And those who have more money than the young folks who are, off on TikTok kind of things. And so it's kind of like the old thing, why do bank robbers rob banks? Because that's where the money is.
Correct.
That's where the scammers are going after. And, yes, there's still a whole lot of scams being done through websites, through phone calls, text messages, and emails. But the big chunk is when you have of the 5 billion, almost $750 million is on Facebook, and WhatsApp is another 400 million.
Facebook 794.
Almost $800 million.
$794 million scammed out of people on Facebook. And the reason the part of this that surprises me is because since the inception of TikTok, we've been told TikTok bad, China bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever bought anything through the TikTok shop, you know full well what a smooth ride it is. Now, some of the products they're selling you, a bill of goods. Some of the products they're selling snake oil, but you've got to know the difference there. And that's still not a scam. They're still delivering you said product.
Right. And what these scams on Facebook, the majority of them are financial advice,
right,
and things like that, or when, hey, we can help you, with investments. And then after you've been scammed, it's the follow-up that, hey, have you been scammed? Let us help. We can get your money back.
Yeah.
And then they scam you out of that money, and then they're gone too.
Right.
So it's
I saw one for a nutritional supplement that showed the mix that's in the nutritional supplement. Like, this one's a fake, and this one's a fake, and this one's a fake, and this one's a fake. If you want the real one,
right,
you got to come over here. And it's like, you're clearly another scam. That's clearly.
It's just out there, and not that scamming is new. It's been around for a million years.
No, it was
and but it's in this day and age, Facebook is the target, the go-to place to try and scam somebody now.
But the reason I find it surprising is, once again, we were all told Facebook was going to be the safe one and TikTok was going to be the bad one.
Well, but for different reasons.
No, sure. But like you're open to the bad actors across the board.
Absolutely. And when you've got 3 billion people on Facebook, then your opportunities to be scammed are that much greater.
Mm-hmm. The shopping scams are the worst ones.
Oh, absolutely.
Because and this is why on TikTok I started very small. I started with a $10 purchase for I'll tell you what it was because it's sitting in my front seat right now. It's a little like a microfiber cloth to clean the inside of your windshield when it gets all filmy. Work like a champ.
Nice.
But I was like, you know what? I'll make this little purchase right here. See what happens. Will my card be bled dry by the end of the day? I don't know. You can't know until you get in it, right? But I feel like TikTok goes to great lengths to make sure that there are deliverables on the deliverables.
I'll take your word on it because not being on TikTok would not know that.
Right.
But yeah.
Romance scams, by the way.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Those are out there too.
This to me, this is the worst, is because you're already looking for it on Facebook, right? I mean,
again, that's a world I have no idea.
Same.
I've been married for 36 years.
I have such. My heart goes out to them.
Oh yeah, I get it. I don't understand that world because I'm not there. I don't want to know what that's all about.
No, I know, but someone reaches out.
I know,
and then a little inbox opens up,
hey,
and the direct messenger opens up, and
hey, let's talk.
Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, sure.
Yeah,
it's sad, but it's there.
Unreal. Do we have time to dive in
real quick? Yeah,
go for it.
Okay, so in 2021, the Infrastructure and Investment Act was passed, and part of that was a mandate that cars sold in new cars in the 2027 models have to start having a surveillance equipment installed. And this surveillance equipment is going to decide if you are impaired, whether it be from drinking or just from tired.
Okay.
And so if you're tired, like yourself,
yeah, I just stood up.
Your car won't start. It's going, and now it's not doing breathalyzers or something like that. It's going to have sensors that's going to look at your face. If your eyes are dilated, if your skin doesn't look right, it's just not going to start.
Mm-hmm.
And that may sound good, except for the false positives and the false negatives.
Right.
Because if this thing comes back and you've been drinking, but it doesn't pick up the fact that your eyes are dilated and you're drunk, and it says, oh, well, I must not be drunk. It's letting me start. Now you got a drunk on the road.
Mm-hmm.
With the same thing, if you're just walking out of the eye doctors and you've had your eyes dilated so the eye doctor can check you. Your car won't start. And the auto manufacturers are pushing back saying this is not ready for prime time.
Right.
But the law still takes into effect. And so now these auto manufacturers have 3 years to have these installed.
Catch your full serving of Tech Gumbo Saturdays and Sundays right here on Talk 107.3 FM or anywhere you get your podcasts on demand. He's Haggai Davis. We always appreciate the time.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Sorry, she hit me with a 5-second warning.
Oh, no, that's good. It went the life of the
motherfucker did it again. Look at that. Right there.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
Look at it right there.
He moved his shit.
We have an employee who insists on, I have a coffee mug and a water cup, okay? He insists on cleaning them every week. I rinse them out just fine, but he comes in here and he touches my shit. And I don't like him. Like, it's just weird. Why would you touch someone else's stuff?
He also punches all the buttons on the board, Haggai.
I know who we're talking
He
about.
shouldn't be fucking touching. He never has to use these buttons for his show, but he touches them.
Talking about Carl.
Yeah. Fuck. And I sound like the asshole because he's like, hey, he's doing you a favor. No, he's not. It's just don't.
Kate's always like, that's my boy, Carl.
Kennel Club.
So next Friday, I have to leave at 8 to go over to the Louisiana Beef Industry Council to sell them on Foodie Friday from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So I got to bail on the show an hour early.
Yeah, no problem.
So that we can have sponsors. And oh, by the way, and I already missed the window because I just didn't respond. But I got sometimes I get those opportunities from Premier Networks for the national celebrities and whatnot. Steve Sciarippa is next Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos, and Anthony Abadamarco from Blue Bloods, like 2 of my all-time favorite shows.
Are they going to be on during the 8 o'clock hour, or?
No, it's already booked up.
Oh, you've already booked. Okay.
It's already no.
You've already recorded
it. I haven't recorded it. It was going to record in the 9 o'clock hour that day.
Okay.
So 9 o'clock our time, 10 o'clock East Coast. That's when it was supposed to be open for recording, but I'm not going to be on premises to record it. So
you were upset. You were like, son of a...
I know. My obsession with The Sopranos and just
Kinda.
Bobby Bacala for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's a big one. I've had Christopher Moltisanti. I've had Benny Fazio. I've had Tim Daly. I can't remember his character's name, but the guy who wrote Cleaver. So,
well, and talking Sopranos was such a cool.
I know.
I loved all of that whole series.
Phil Leotardo, before he passed.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, he wrote a book called A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man. So,
He's calling us.
I don't know.
Well, do you have anybody already scheduled during the time? Or?
No, it's wide open right now. If you want help scheduling, I can help you schedule.
I just didn't know if you had anybody who's normal on during that time.
No. Here, kill my mic. 225. Oh, so yeah, I can help you out if you need me to book a couple interviews. If you know any restaurants I haven't talked to before that you'd like to get on to do a Foodie Friday, might as well get yourself some grub out of the deal. There you go. You too. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. If that's what you are. I wanna love bizarre.
Hey, Professor Hogan. Hey, it's Talk 107.3. We're gonna come to you in probably 1 minute, okay?
That's where we are.
So how is Club 4 compared to AC Lewis?
Many more machines, many more free weights.
And they have many more squat racks and all that shit.
Oh yeah. So and AC Lewis has the 2 squat racks that are looking at the track.
Right.
They've got 3 squat racks that are looking at mirrors, and then free weights off to the side where if that squat racks are taken, you could use those instead for Go give it a look. It's worth it. It's worth it. Do what?
I might consider it. It wouldn't be far from me.
Yeah. 7:05. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Brian here with you. Brinlin producing. Oh, broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio, starting off the.
I love it. Brinlin. I like that name.
Brinlin. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm so spent.
Me too. Me too. This week is just Dragon Tail.
This week
I'm overly exhausted this week.
It has been a month this week. So
yep.
We got a busy hour this hour, y'all. We're gonna talk with the Ascension Parish Chamber coming up in our next segment. Lee Malonsto's gonna hop on board. I don't know if Donnie's hopping on with Lee or if it's just Lee. We've also got Crimestoppers, so folks from iCare are gonna be coming by this hour. But I wanted to take a deeper dive into the top story of the day. Obviously, the top story of the day yesterday, Supreme Court ruling coming down about Louisiana versus Calais. The long and the short of it is our congressional maps are unconstitutional. Well, where do we go from here? What does that actually mean? So, every day, 6 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock hour, the Baton Rouge Metro Airport brings you top stories and trending. There's no bigger story right now than that. So let's welcome in Dr. Robert Hogan from LSU to talk a little bit about it. Dr. Hogan, good morning. Welcome back. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Let's start with the ruling itself and what it actually means.
Sure. The Supreme Court yesterday handed down a much anticipated decision about the creation of Louisiana's second majority minority district, District 6 in the U.S. House. And, they ruled they had heard arguments on it last spring and wanted to hear more about it this past fall. And so it was much anticipated. And basically what it says is that this was an illegal gerrymander that diluted the votes of others and was, in fact, unconstitutional based on the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. It basically says that you can't draw districts that are racially gerrymandered in this fashion. And so it means that they're going to have to be redrawn in some fashion. They went further on to say that really the Voting Rights Act, sort of a major part of American law that was passed in 1965 and renewed several times since then. The biggest part of it that protects minority voters, black voters in this state, is really not very effectual and is unconstitutional. Its attempt to diminish the ability to, or its intent to stop the efforts to diminish African American voting strength. That part of it is much more difficult to establish going forward. Mm-hmm. Intent is necessary to show that African Americans or any minority is being discriminated against. So it's much more difficult to prove in court. And ultimately, what that means is that that states are freer than in the past to draw districts however they want, and they can use partisanship to a large extent now that they couldn't before. And I think what this means is you're going to see districts drawn in whatever pattern that benefits the particular party who happens to control the legislature and sometimes the governorship in states. So it's a huge sea change. The most immediate effect you're going to see in the coming years is probably fewer African Americans elected to Congress. And this applies, I should point out, this ruling applies not just to congressional elections, but also the state legislative elections and local elections. So you're also likely to see in the short term many fewer African Americans represented in the Louisiana legislature.
Professor Robert Hogan's our guest from LSU, talking about Louisiana versus Calais and the Supreme Court ruling yesterday. Professor Hogan, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, like, the racial makeup of a congressional district is one thing, but it's not anywhere near all the requirements that are needed to make up a district. So what we ran into with this particular case is, and I don't know what's going on in other states or whatever, but we don't have, I mean, when you look at Louisiana's map, there was no way to meet all the other requirements of a district, whether you're talking about the compactness of it, or anything else. I mean, everyone could see that the District 6 that was carved out for Cleo Fields, I mean, it spans 11 parishes, covers 3 different metro areas, and it was clearly carved out just for one purpose and one purpose only.
That's right, because African Americans constitute a third of the population in the state, and African Americans generally are not elected statewide in a lot of southern states, although they comprise a large percentage of the population, because people are using race in their voting. And given that, this is the only effective tool available for African Americans to gain political office. And this is something that the country has struggled with for a very long time. Giving voting rights with the 15th Amendment back in the 1800s was one thing, but what states, especially southern states, did almost immediately was make it almost impossible for African Americans to have any real role to play in elections. And the easiest way to do that was the old cracking and packing method, where you would just put all the African Americans in one district and limit their influence, or disperse their population across districts so they would have no influence and have no way of electing one of their own to Congress. So it effectively diminished their ability to have any real role in the political process.
Well, I want to be sure we're clear on one thing there, because you said people use race in their voting. Is there any empirical data that says people vote based off of race, or is this a matter of, correlation equals causation?
No, that's not one of those kind of arguments. I mean, race matters a lot for how people vote, particularly for white people. This is something that empirical evidence is pretty clear on, and also
maybe I'm not reading the same exit polls, but does anybody come out of a voting booth saying I voted for the white guy?
No, you're not, and that would be a very ineffective way to determine if someone was using racial voting.
Right.
They're not going to say that. In fact, I've never met a racist, for example, who admitted that they were racist. I mean, that's not the way you want to do that.
Right.
But race plays a huge role in elections. It's undeniable, and to simply ignore that is really a way of continuing to disenfranchise African Americans. So the Voting Rights Act its renewal was passed in 2006 by overwhelming majorities in both the House and the Senate. Excuse me. And this is sort of the state of affairs until this decision came down yesterday.
Dr. Robert Hogan's our guest. He's a professor at LSU. We're talking about the Louisiana versus Calais ruling coming down from the Supreme Court. All right, I want to skip to the bottom of the page here and ask the most pertinent question. Early voting opens up on Saturday. What the hell's going to happen? Like, how do we go in and vote on unconstitutional districts?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, overnight, we learned that the governor has been in contact with candidates and members of his party, and has indicated that he plans, or at least he is thinking about suspending the election or postponing it until the legislature draws new district lines. So it's unclear whether or not that would apply just to the U.S. House elections, or if it applies to all elections that are being held. So it's sort of hard to tell.
So, okay, then let me follow up on that, because if you push pause on the elections, don't you have to push pause on the qualifying as well?
Exactly.
If we're going to go back to a different map, someone called Garrett Graves, right?
Right, exactly. And a lot of the biggest decisions in elections for the election process have already occurred.
Right.
Some candidates have decided to throw their hat in the ring, and others have held back and decided not to run. You're right, Garrett Graves being the most prominent of the potential candidates who decided not to run, given the configuration of the districts. So the election process is already underway, and we're just literally hours away from the early voting starting. So it's going to be the election process is underway. So it means halting it. Again, does this have an influence? Is this going to apply to, the U.S. Senate race, which is extraordinarily competitive? And what about, as you point out, all the local level ballot measures and those sorts of things?
Yeah. The Senate race, I guess, doesn't matter because, the Senate's the full state, right?
Well, that's correct. But I mean, it's unclear if you halt the election, are we going to halt that election, or does that one go on by itself? I don't know.
Wow. I mean,
lots of questions.
It's a lot to unpack in 48 hours. Yeah.
Right. And all this goes to, a lot of people who have little faith already in our election process. One of the real big downsides to redistricting is, and constant and frequent redistricting, is that people don't know who their elected leaders are, much less the potential candidates that they get to help select. So this creates a big disconnect, I think, with the public, and this has a major negative effect on representation, it seems to me. It also, all this is leading, I think, to an era. You thought that redistricting and gerrymandering were bad in the past. Wow. I think this is going to lead to an even more exaggerated level of redistricting, and which ultimately leads to even more polarization in the legislatures than we observe now.
No, I completely agree on that front, because you look at the gerrymandering for the 6th congressional district, then you have to look at what's left in its wake. The 5th congressional district, if you want to get from one side of the 5th to the other, you have to physically leave the state.
That's right.
It's just,
right.
It's not just carving out to make sure you're meeting racial quotas. It's what's left behind for all the rest of the, okay, let's sweep this all together and make it look like something. Right.
And there are all sorts of implications with this. Keep in mind, a lot of people say, well, they're partisan. This is going to hurt the Democrats. Well, I think it will hurt the Democrats in the short term. But you got to think also about the Republicans in the longer term. A third of the voters in Louisiana are African Americans who are reliably Democratic voters. Where do those voters go? Getting rid of a majority minority district, or both of them, both of those districts. Where do those voters go? And which of the currently elected Republican incumbents want to see an infusion of their district with 20% or 50% increase of voters who are typically voting for the other party? You may ultimately, in some elections, in some states, have greater competition in some of these districts.
Right.
So, that's another thing to consider here. In the long term, is it going to lead to what I said earlier, greater gerrymandering and more polarization? Maybe, but it also depends on what the state constitutions say about how you can draw the districts.
Yeah.
And some states have much more stringent requirements about, as you said earlier, compactness and contiguity and those sorts of issues. And to the extent that states have that may put a pause or pump the brakes on the ability to create gerrymandered districts.
You want to crystal ball it for me? Do you think we go back down to one majority minority district? Or do you think it makes its way all the way down to none?
I don't know. I think certainly down to one. I wouldn't be surprised if it went down to none.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if there's just, hey, look, I'm a lifelong Republican. There's no way you don't have a majority minority district in New Orleans. Some things supersede numbers and just become common sense.
Well, and it also gets back to the point of where do those African American voters go, right? And which Republican incumbent would or running for one of these other congressional seats would want to make their election much more competitive. That's what it would require. So from that strategic perspective, it sounds like you keep African Americans in one district. And again, this gets back to the old system of how do you reduce African American input in elections? You pack them into one district, and I think that's what a lot of people find unacceptable about the decision yesterday.
He is Professor Robert Hogan. Greatly appreciate a couple minutes this morning. Thank you so much.
Nice talking to you.
Likewise, always. Quick break, come back. We check in with Lee Melanson on Ascension Parish next. That's what we are. Oh. It's 7:21 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We ran long right there with Professor Hogan, so let's dive right back in. Time to check in out in Ascension Parish with the Executive Director of the Micro Business Enterprise Corporation of Ascension, MBECA. He is Lee Melanson. Lee, how are you, sir?
Oh, good morning. I'm doing great.
Glad to have you on here. I appreciate your patience right there. Obviously, top story of the day. With the Supreme Court ruling, so we dove in a little bit deep. So let's dive in. What is the MBECA, and how do you help businesses out in Ascension?
Good morning. So yes, the Micro Business Enterprise Corporation of Ascension, we all of course refer to it as MBECA. We're focused on small and emerging business. We were founded about 21 years ago. And we were placed here in order to help our small business infrastructure grow, particularly to meet the needs of the growing parish. I mean, this parish is experiencing growth. So for us, MBECA is really about preparing those small businesses. And we're talking about people from pre-venture all the way up to the SBA's definition of 499 employees, which is very difficult to call that a small business in my opinion, but nonetheless, that's what it is. But, we work across the board to help these entrepreneurs and get them ready. And that readiness can be anything from planning a new business, growing the one that they have, helping them get access to capital or finances, anything that they might need. And then, of course, more particularly, as they grow stronger, certifications for the state to do business with the state through procurement opportunities or vendor management, as well as those federal certifications that help them to do business with the federal government. And all of those things are very important for us to be competitive and to continue to grow and keep our heavy industry supported by the small business infrastructure that's out there. So we're just fortunate. We've called Ascension Parish our home for quite some time. We've got great partners, and we're looking forward to continue doing what we do at this very important time for our parish.
Talk to me a little bit, Lee, about how these things trickle up. I mean, in Becca, it matters right now in Ascension Parish because while we're seeing these big names, big announcements coming in, making things run from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Talk to me a little about how you'll make it work.
And that's really a great point that you make, because a lot of times these larger industries are always done. Of course, it takes years to develop these partnerships and for these organizations to call Ascension Parish their future home, or even to grow in the home that they're in. Our small businesses are often some of the last to hear about it, and only because it takes a lot of energy to get that whole process going. So a number of our small businesses, they're not really prepared. I think everyone has that dream, of that American dream, to do business with, let's say, a heavy industry or a larger commercial operation, but they may not have the things that they need, the insurances. They may not have the bonding. They just may not be ready to do what they need to do. So Becca tries to put them on that track to get them what they need so they can be prepared, and then grow them to the point where they have that relationship. And I want to make sure and to say this is all free. These are all programs that are provided by the Louisiana Department of Economic Development. And this is a no-cost opportunity for anyone in the region. But we focus here on Ascension, but this is a no-cost situation. So to me, I think it's one of the best investments in our taxpayers' dollars that the state reinvests in order to help these small businesses grow. Because look, after all, almost 98.2% of our entire state's operation is based on the success of its small businesses.
100%. We're a small business state. And bridging those gaps is unbelievably important. Talk with Lee Melanson, Executive Director of the Micro Business Enterprise Corporation of Ascension, aka MBECA. So let's move over to the partnership with the Chamber. Talk to me a little bit about how that partnership is important during Small Business Week.
I have to tell you, we are so blessed to have great partners here. The Ascension Chamber has been so supportive of us throughout the years. And every year that culminates in this week that we call Ascension Small Business Week. Now, most everyone knows that starting effectively Monday, it is the nation's Small Business Week. We always push back a week simply because there's a great number of opportunities available already for them to participate in. So we actually celebrate this for 2 weeks in our parish. So a chamber is there to help us network with the people that are large, members of the chamber. There's such a large membership of people that are out there. And for us, the biggest challenge is just letting people know that we're there and that we're there to help them. So these networking opportunities really comes together when you put the chamber together with a small business center like MBECA. That power is tremendous because they're already networking, they're already in the know, they're meeting all of the officials they need to meet. But when they get this opportunity to get this additional free service, this becomes one of these hands-on situations where we're constantly getting referrals from the chamber, and we're thrilled about that. And of course, likewise, we tell our individuals, hey, you've got to, if this is just the beginning, we're going to teach you how to fish, so to speak, but you're going to have to go out there and start fishing. And so we teach them how to network and how to go right back into the chamber to make these business relationships important. So together, these connections create more opportunities for our small businesses to engage with these larger industries, their leaders, and of course, all the decision makers that make this possible.
All right, so let's set the table for May. You get the member luncheon coming up. Why should people attend that one?
Yeah, this is going to be a great day. So May 14th at the Price LeBlanc Pay Center in Gonzales. We start the morning at 7:30. We actually start at 7 with a sponsored breakfast. We are going to move on into some free workshops for those that like to attend at about 8 o'clock. We give our small business awards away, and then we go downstairs and we have what we call a resource fair. So if you're needing lending, you're needing anything at all to help you improve your business, all of these free resources such as the SBA, the SBDCs, they're all going to be down there to talk to you. Most importantly, inside the arena, we're going to be having informal roundtables in a program that we call Small Business, Big Business Connect. So we'll have the decision makers sitting at a table, and any one of our small industries can stop by, sit down, and have a simple dialogue on very simple questions like, how do I become a vendor? What does it take? Is there a particular process or something that you're starting? And of course, it culminates with the luncheon itself, which is going to be very special. So this is opportunities to network, learn how to do business from the decision makers, and then make all of this become a reality. So that's May 14th at the Price, Law, and Pace Center. Again, we start at 7, and it's going to all culminate with the luncheon at the Ascension Chamber Luncheon. We're really happy to have the Cardiovascular Institute of the South sponsor that program that day. And then that luncheon has a very special program that's also going to take place.
30 seconds to go. Where do folks need to go to register?
So they can go to the Ascension Chamber's website and they can register for the lunch because they will need to do that. They can also go to mbecca.org/events and register for the free portions of the event, which begin in the morning. Of course, we welcome them to call us. They can call the chamber office. They can also call myself, and I can give my number at 225-445-1383. And we can always be available to help them get where they need to go and what they need to do.
He is Lee Malonsaw, Executive Director out in Mbecca. Appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you so much, Brian. Have a good day.
You too. Talk to you soon. That was Lee Malonsaw checking in Ascension. Parish, here's news. Sweet. All right. I need to go take my cough medicine.
We're gonna put you on this mic right here. I'm pretty glad. I'm trying to think where else. You're familiar too. I've been working here since December 2023. But I've done marketing at home. I'm sure we've crossed paths. I know. And what's your name? I know you from somewhere. But like not radio. Like I know you from. Do you know how you know somebody and you can't figure it out? Yeah, I'm always awkward at that because they know me. Yeah. And I'm like, I know. Pete knows everybody. Huh? You go to Prairieville or you live in Prairieville? I live in Baton Rouge, but I grew up in Houma, lived in Lafayette for 7 years. Did radio in Lafayette, radio here. I used to work at Wings, iHeartMedia. I used to be the program director at Wings. So I know people. I don't know how I know people, though, if that makes sense. Pete, how do you spell your last name?
It's J-O-R-Y.
J-O-R-Y.
Like Troy or Corey, but just Jory. What's up? What's happening? Likewise.
All right, let's get pick 1, 2, 8.
Yep.
Okay, so we go over here to his thing. Sure. Over there.
Well, let's get the logo up on this side.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Your logo, correct?
Yes, please.
Hang on, y'all. Why is this
Not in the news.
Oh, really?
I feel like you got an award or something like that making that.
One.
Oh yeah, sure did.
And
oh, I think you're doing video.
I sure am. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, we can tell like I love this guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
we're
not
best
like
buds.
that. We're better. 1, 2, and got you.
Appreciate you. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
Right there. Louisiana Association for Broadcasting.
Okay.
My 6th award for election coverage.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
So thank
I
you.
didn't mean to say you were in the news. You're like, wait, what?
But that could be why. You have a ringing the doorbell with nobody.
We're gonna knock this over now. How long do we have?
Do what?
How long do we have? So
About 3 minutes till we're in.
So a couple of things. I was kind of looking at this. So this is actually true, but yet this has gone down significantly. Where it says 447 annual deaths, and it's just it says the number has gone down actually to 215 or 216.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I actually put it in red for you just to highlight it. Because Louisiana's actually gone down. So a lot of our we're actually doing pretty well.
And you've got
alcohol-related deaths.
Good. 736 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got we're gonna dive into Crimestoppers here in just a second. Talk with the folks from iCare. We got Pete Jorian with us for iCare. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you today's the last day for the Dreams Come True Radiothon, helping dreams come true for Louisiana children battling life-threatening illnesses. Bree Lynn, numbers wise, are we able? Do we have a tally of anywhere close to where we're at?
So number wise, our purple and gold sponsors have kicked in their 1-for-1 several times. So we are now on track for $22,000.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm going to say by the end of the day, once Matt Flynn on our sister station, he's donating. I want to say on behalf of him, his organization,
his foundation,
yes. And so with all of that, $22,000. This is insane.
Gotta love it. It's good stuff. Good numbers for our radiothon because we did it. It was a little more condensed this year. Condensed this year. So
and within the first 48 hours, lots of donations came in.
Yeah.
So this is it's a good year.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll bring you up to speed on Dreams Come True in just a little bit. If you want to, you can still donate at talk1073.com. Talk1073.com. Make your donation for the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Right now, though, time for Crimestoppers. Hit it. And every so often, we hand off the Crimestopper segment to the folks from iCare. That's exactly what we're doing today. As we got Pete Jorian with us, he's a prevention specialist with iCare. And we need to talk a little bit about DUIs. Pete, welcome back, man. How are you?
Hey, man.
How long has it been since you were in here?
It's been 1 year. Well, no, not last year. I'm sorry. I came 2 years ago.
Okay.
Same stuff, same time.
Yeah. Well, the reason for this time is multifaceted. Number one, it's prom season.
True.
Number two, once the summertime gets here, all bets are off.
That's right.
So we're talking DUI fatalities by season. Let's start off by talking just from a simple perspective. Why do students choose to drive under the influence?
I think students try to drive. First of all, they're being students. It's celebration time. It's all those things. But then what ends up happening is they get a little confident. They don't think they're going to do something like that, but then they drink and then they get their confidence. That's what alcohol does. It takes away inhibitions. So then there's a little bit of that. And then for many of them, it's kind of an inconvenience. They don't want their parents to know. So they want to get behind the wheel. They want to do something. They think it's going to be a quick ride. And next thing you know, they're in danger.
As a parent of teenagers, I'm always curious about that. I mean, it was, we have so many options out there now. Uber and Lyft, for example. Is that just not do most parents say, just no across the board and don't you dare, and that you're forcing a bad situation, making a bad situation worse?
So what happens is most parents don't really let the kid believe that they're not going to be in trouble if they do the right thing. Right. So if the car didn't come home that night or something like that, the kid really thinks they're going to be in trouble. So they'll take the risk. But if parents would go ahead and have a conversation before and say, I don't care what happens. I want to ask any questions. I want you here alive. I want you home. If I have to pick up the car the next day, and then offer and make a plan before, get an Uber, get a Lyft. So if they would take those steps before, kids wouldn't feel in that moment that they've got to take some steps that they know ultimately are going to be dangerous.
Pete Jory from iCare is our guest, talking about DUI fatalities by season. Let's talk about the state. How does Louisiana compare to other states in regards to alcohol-related accidents or alcohol-related fatalities?
So interesting. The good news is, we work with iCare, so it's about prevention, and one of our taglines is "Prevention Works," and we've actually seen a decrease in some of the alcohol-related crashes compared to other states. So, significantly across, it used to be that we used to lead the nation in some things. Right now, per deaths per 100,000, Louisiana is at a 4 or 5, where the nation is at a 12. So we're doing pretty good there. However, we also are still top 10, top 15 yearly. And so we're 7 or 8 in the nation as far as fatalities. Still a big deal.
Yeah. Now, are you able to break those numbers down by age group?
I am not able to break those down by age group. I should have been able to do that.
No, it's because it's part of the overall, part of the overall discussion here. But it's also part of the overall discussion to say, just because your teen is the one drinking doesn't mean you should not be on the lookout for it on the road. Because there's some irresponsible grown-ups as well. Let's talk about why the prevention efforts are so important for Louisiana motorists.
Well, so what happens is it's really seasonal. It's anytime you have holidays or any time, 4th of July is coming up, graduation, prom, anytime Louisiana has an opportunity to celebrate, we do it really well.
Yes.
But we do it really dangerously. We know for Halloween, believe it or not, just Halloween, one day it spikes. We know for Mardi Gras, it spikes. So graduation, summer's coming up, people are going boating, they've been on the lake all day, whatever it may be. All of those parties. So this time specifically, we like to highlight and do our campaigns and make a lot of awareness. And like I said, I think not just us, but other people, other messaging, other people doing their messaging seems to be working, seems to be getting around. But we're still high, Did
I read this right? 216 fatal injury crashes?
Yeah, that's right. So 216, and which is lower, but it's still significant. Matter of fact, what's really significant is Baton Rouge. Obviously, I know that we have a large concentration of people. So we lead, we're I think at 10.6, something like that.
Okay.
100,000 people have deaths a year.
And not just Baton Rouge, but within the Baton Rouge area. St. Helena's high too, right?
St. Helena is the highest. Per capita. Yeah, they're the highest.
Which, that sounds out of whack, but there's not a whole lot of people there.
I'm not sure what's going on in St. Helena,
but
it's dangerous.
When one accident can skew the numbers, that's the way that rolls.
Right. Baton Rouge is high, and that's significant for us.
How does distracted driving complicate the problem of, it adds into the whole equation here. We could talk about, DUI, but distracted driving plays a huge part too.
Yeah, so Louisiana ranks as one of the highest for distracted driving fatalities. And so I think we're over 2, I forgot the number, 2.4 times the national average of those that have fatalities, you know. So it is a big deal because I know they just passed the law, the hands-free law.
Right.
But I'm aware, like you are, and I'm sure you look to the person to the left and the right, and you still see that they're still doing the exact same thing.
Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah. And now I have been seeing people stop, but the reality is there's three things that are big. When you take your eyes off the road, when you take your mind off of what you're doing, and you take your hands off the wheel, that has been very significant for Louisiana drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing, I mean, I try not to judge if I'm at a red light because you're stopped, right? You're stopped at a red light. So as long as you're putting the phone right back down when the light turns green, that's one thing. But man, all too often, it's the foot on the gas and the hand on the cell phone at the same time.
Well, you can always tell because when the light turns green, they don't go.
Right.
Or like in my case, who got in a pretty good accident, I was still at a light when they decided to go.
Oh, fun.
So yeah.
Nice and just rear-ended?
Yeah,
all right.
Same thing.
Yeah. We got Pete Jory on with us talking about DUI. Now, distracted driving and driving under the influence are two different things. I know there's some similarities between the two, but they're not the same thing.
The difference is that it's kind of obviously it's taboo to be behind the wheel and using substances, and people know it.
Right.
But because of guilt or shame or whatever, they don't tell someone they're doing it. They don't get their rides. They don't take the right measures. So that creates a big problem. The difference with a lot of the driving with, a device or something like that, that's not really, a lot of people don't have a lot of shame on that. Right. And they see it from their parents. They see it from others. So it's acceptable. So you got one that's not acceptable, so it's hidden. One that's acceptable, so it's visible and done. You put those two together, it's pretty disastrous for Louisiana. Yeah.
And the hard part here is as a parent, right?
Yeah.
As a parent, the hard part is like, I've been driving for 30 plus years.
Yep.
You know, I
confidence.
And I'm not trying to say I know how to text and drive, but like you want to set the right tone, and there is something to be said for the level of experience you have, the level of situations you've been privy to. But if you send the wrong message on the front end, your kid's going to get the wrong message received.
Yeah, I would like to believe that I could do it, but my kid can't. But if I want my kid not to do it, I shouldn't.
That's my point right there. Exactly my point. Now let's go back to what exactly is distracted driving and why it's dangerous.
So what it is ultimately, and I kind of named three things, but anytime anybody, and that's what the law is really right now, any kind of fooling with any kind of device, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's not hands-free, if it's not a technology where you can speak it into it, then you're taking eyes, hands, either or all of them, whatever it is, whether you're taking your hands, whether you're taking your eyes, whether you're taking your mind off of it. So a lot of times people don't realize, and you've seen this, somebody carrying on a full conversation,
right?
And it looks like their hands are fine, but their mind is somewhere else. So anything like that takes your attention off the road.
I got just a couple minutes left. A few more questions here for Pete Jory from iCare. Talk about DUIs during the season, and I know we kind of went down a distracted driving path as well. But let's refocus. What are some of the things that the parents and students can do to keep students safe during this celebration season?
Yeah, so that is what we're about. Like that's our messaging right there. So number one is parents have to have a conversation with their kid before they go. They have to make sure that, and this is what I would communicate to every parent. There should always be a plan before the kid leaves the house. And they should always know, no matter what happens, the most important thing is their life. We're not asking questions. We just want you home. So having a plan prior, there's too many options with Lyft and with Uber and with all of those things. So if they have that plan, also having them to know that they're inviting a friend. So I would tell a parent, invite a friend into that conversation and you be each other's buddy. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something, and both of you get a ride home with someone else. I would say I don't even know why kids today even behind the wheel at all at that time of the year.
No, I mean it's not like it was back in the day where like it was either you got behind the wheel or you had to tough it out wherever you were.
That's right.
I mean now it's easy as $15 will get you where you need to go.
And I mean, with technology today, it's so crazy. It can be used to be dangerous, but you could use it to find a ride anywhere, anytime.
Right.
So
absolutely. Yeah. Last one before we get you out of here. What does iCare do to help students make better decisions during the season?
So we probably a lot of people don't know, we travel. We are within the EBR school district, and so we actually meet with students individually. We locate things in their personal life that are indicators that might be problematic. We help them to identify that, help them make good choices. But we also do presentations to teachers to identify things. So we do presentations. We do a lot of messaging. We do a lot of campaigns, getting the word out. So we do that in the schools and in the community. And we equip a lot of people to be able to do it themselves. So it's a little bit of what we do.
He is Pete Jory, eye care specialist, talking a little bit about DUI here in Baton Rouge. It is that season. It is prom season right now, and summer's just around the corner. Thank you for a couple minutes this morning.
Man, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. We're coming up on 750 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, which means we're going to check your money now. On the back end of that, we'll check traffic, and then this day in history is coming up.
Your money now.
Thank you. Hey, that was tough because I don't think you had a lot of material to work with. He was like, "Man, we're good." Sorry about that.
No. I can go off script all day long.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just it's like I don't think I'm speaking out of 7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We are going to keep it moving. We got a stacked up third hour. Emily Chenevert is going to be on with us at 8:05, which is when we would normally do this day in history. So let's move it up to right now. Let's go.
You son of a bitch. Ugh.
All right, Breland.
All right. Diving on in to the 1700s for a change. George Washington took the oath of office as the first U.S. president in New York City.
Okay.
In 1803, the United States completed the Louisiana Purchase from France, roughly doubling the nation's size. Boom. There we
Love
go.
that.
There we go. In 1812, Louisiana became the 18th U.S. state.
On this day.
On this day. Boom.
4:30.
Yep. 1945, Adolf Hitler died by suicide in Berlin as Soviet troops closed in.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we still don't really.
He didn't escape to South America. He wasn't in Argentina.
Is he on an island with Michael Jackson, Jeffrey Epstein?
No. This is like History Channel stuff. Like there's
really?
a lot of people. Yeah. Like, was there going to be a Fourth Reich?
Because you heard the rumors, though, without going down the rabbit hole, that all our people who have gotten killed are on an island somewhere. Like Michael
I don't
Jackson.
buy that.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
Okay.
But the idea that they may have all tried to escape to start over again.
Yeah.
I buy.
So you mean to tell me Adolf Hitler could still, well, not now, but he could have been alive in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, I don't believe it, but I see the how people allow for the possibility.
Right. Okay. 1975, the fall of Saigon ends the Vietnam War. So yesterday, the evacuation happened, but today, this day in history, the city officially fell, ending the Vietnam War. Okay. In 1992, the 208th and final episode of The Cosby Show airs. Holy cow.
Yeah.
In 1996, U.S. President Clinton approved the sale of crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. U.S. gas prices were at their highest levels in 5 years. That was in 96. Still can't beat 2026.
No.
2004, Mean Girls premieres.
Okay.
2010, Apple sells 1 million iPad units within 28 days of its launch.
Okay.
Crazy to me. I love my iPad now, but it's nothing compared to how it was in 2010.
Yeah.
What else you got?
No, nothing else on the nothing on the day in history front. All I've got is birthdays.
All right. Birthdays. Akon, born in 1973. Humbo's old. I say old, but I thought he was younger than that for whatever reason. Travis Scott, known for the whole Astro World incident, tragedy. He was born 1991 today.
Okay.
I'm showing Willie Nelson.
But didn't we have him yesterday? That's what I thought too.
So
he's on my list again today.
TMZ posted yesterday that yesterday was his birthday. So we're gonna go with
what everybody had. So yeah.
What else you got for birthdays?
Oh, I got Isaiah Thomas, is 65 years old today. Johnny Galecki.
Oh, okay.
It's his birthday, and Kirsten Dunst.
Okay. Notable deaths. We already covered Adolf Hitler.
Edward Monet.
Oh, okay.
The painter.
Okay. Adolf Hitler passed away on this day. B.E. King, known for Stand By Me, he passed away in 2015 today.
Benny King.
Excuse me. That's really all I have who is notable. Who else you got?
That's what we'll roll with.
Let me Google. I closed out my tab. International Jazz Day is today. Let's go with it because Jazz Fest weekend number 2 kicks off today.
Correct. Yep. So if Jazz Fest is getting back into it, then we could definitely roll with that. All right. We got the top of the hour breathing down our necks. State Representative Emily Chenevert is going to be the first to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. We got a jam-packed 8 o'clock hour, y'all. So here comes news, and we'll be right back after this.
Do you know how many people I see eating like wings and shit while they drive?
I eat while I drive all the time.
I know, but like wings. I'm sure you don't.
I eat a sandwich while I drive for sure. Because my day gets so regimented.
So you eat when you sleep.
Yeah.
Basically.
I can smash a sandwich in a red light and do something.
Is it on the back of your laptop, maybe?
I just don't remember who I have in A15 and A35.
You got, all right, so let me run through the list. You had.
Laura Sue at A15 and Scott McKay at A35.
I have, you want mine?
No, where it went. It's not in the garbage. I did not throw it away. It's not in the garbage.
Here, take mine. Just give it back.
No, I don't need it. I'll be okay. What's bothering me is the fact that I don't know where it went.
All right, you did.
Ha! It gets stuck under the paperclip.
Oh, so you got your locker read.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I'm basically going to need to do to a segment at this point. Oh, the hotline is gonna do the death of me.
It's giving her the busy tone.
Yeah. Have you met Laura Sue yet?
I have not.
Okay, you're in for a treat. She's one of my favorite people.
I have, because she looks very familiar. She was on channel 2.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah.
Kind of like me. Yeah. Riot free.
It's over 20 minutes. Children and adults snapping up losses. The total reporting quarterly revenue that topped Wall Street expectations on the back of the Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged.
Talking to 73. Hey, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll come to you in 2 minutes, okay?
Oh. And was ExxonMobil on there? On my live reads? No? Okay. Right. Hey, kill my mind. Holding at 68 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Hour 3 of Mornings with Brian Haldane coming your way right now. It's 8:06. Brian here with you. Breland producing, broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio. Actually, you know what? Now's as good a time as any for me to tell you about 180 Pros. Not your IT provider, your IT partner. What does that mean? That means when you call, you're going to get an answer. When you call 225-330-2200, you are going to have an answer. Can't have a partner if they're not going to answer the phone, right? Also, you're going to get someone who's right here in Baton Rouge. We all know long-distance relationships don't work. And if your livelihood, if your network is down, if your business is not functioning because your network is down, do you really want to run the risk of, I don't know, having an accident, let's just say on I-10, that jams things up, keeps someone away from getting inside and fixing it? 180pros.com, 180pros.com, same-day response time, simplified billing, full-on relationship, 180pros.com. All right, we need to welcome back to the show State Representative Emily Chenevert. Had a segment yesterday that I'm going to try and summarize real quick without getting into too much detail. We had Major Williams was the guy's name, talking about Charlie's Law and how Charlie's Law was came to be and what his role was and the way that it affected his family. And there's some bills out there right now that he feels are going to either dilute or get rid of Charlie's Law. One of those bills that he was talking about yesterday was HB 1112 by State Representative Emily Chenevert. And my first thought when I heard that was, there is no way Emily Chenevert is going to write something that would harm children. She has gone out of her way to protect children from long before being elected to office. So I figured, let's clear the air, get her on right now. Representative Chenevert, good morning. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Were you able to hear the segment yesterday?
I heard some of it yesterday, and I've heard a lot of some of the discussion as well, obviously being in committee, Brian, and listening to that. And so I appreciate letting me come on, mainly because I want to talk a little bit about why we're here,
okay,
right? Like what we're trying to do. And so I think that's what's important for listeners is that last year there was a bill, it's called Charlie's Law, Act 409. And within that bill, it really sought to kind of address, maybe some issues that had come up. I know you had someone on talking about a really terrible situation, right, that they had dealt with. And as a mama, I can't imagine that, like in one situation in one school, that had happened. And so I think it was a bill brought, maybe there's maybe there's a big issue. Really, there was no discussion. The bill did not go through the education committees last year. I think some of the issues that we now see, maybe an unintended consequence, maybe could have been brought up, but didn't go through last year, passed the House. We all supported it. We want to protect children. It was dealing with pre-K programs. But the big kicker was that it all of a sudden put a licensure on non-public schools that have a 3- and 4-year-old program, in treating them the same way as an early learning center. Well, that is what caused a big issue. It wasn't that we don't want to protect children. It's that all of a sudden, all of the private Catholic schools or Christian schools that have 3- and 4-year-old programs that are schools, mind you, they are different than early learning centers. They run their programs differently. We're now looped into this and to have a license. So that is where this really started in some of the fix. I know we're working with. I have tons of private schools in my district, love children. Families pay a lot of money, Brian. I've heard you talk about sacrifices that your family has made and families make, that this new licensure and all of this government overreach in private education was causing an issue of, could tuitions go up? Do we have to build new buildings? It caused a massive issue for legislators in the sense of phone calls, concerns. How do we fix this? Government overreach. We are a Christian education. We are getting out from underneath public ed. So that is where this came from. My bill is helping to fix some of those issues. There's still things intact. We're not trying to not protect children. Let me be very clear. But we also have to balance that while still not having government overreach in Christian education, where we've never opened up the door to this degree, right? And so I think, and Senator Mizell has a bill, SB 441, and, I'm trying to work with her. And look, we're trying to navigate this. It's a very sensitive topic, but I can tell you, Brian, myself, Senator Mizell, we want to protect children. That is not the issue, but we have to honor the constitutional freedoms we have as religious people who want our children in a religious education without government overreach, while also recognizing that parents pay invoices, and this could cause a very tough, I call it a parental fiscal note, for families, right? So that's where a lot of this kind of started. Just for listeners, I wanted them to know.
We'll get State Representative Emily Chenevert on with us. Let's talk about this because your bill breaks things down between a non-public school approval, pre-kindergarten programs, and you address camps as well. For the non-public school approval, what is going to be needed moving forward with your bill?
So my bill it was heard off the House floor. It passed the House, and it's and then Senator Mizell's bill will be on our floor. I believe it's coming next week. But for my bill, it really exempted right now, prior to Charlie's Law passing, non-public schools had a form of I guess you would say oversight through BESE, our state board of education. And so we have non-public schools that are accredited, a lot of those bigger schools. And then we have a lot of wonderful schools, I know in my district or where my constituents go to, that are non-accredited, but they're still BESE approved. So what that means is BESE has, they have it's like minimum standards, but they still have oversight. And I encourage someone to look at the Bulletin 741. It was adapted a little bit after Charlie's Law passed, but they had oversight. So it's not like nobody knew what these schools were, people know that we have schools, they know the count of the students in these schools. But again, my bill just helps to kind of get it back in place where, hey, we were doing a good job. Our non-public schools are thriving. We've got thousands of families and children represented that have opted out of the public or government-run accountable schools. These schools, I like to say, parents get that invoice every month, Brian. And parents, if they have an issue, it's with that school. They're meeting with teachers, they're in the school, they're in the parental involvement activities. So parents are really on the forefront and the decision makers so much in that. And I think that's where I'm big on parental rights.
Right.
I am very big on school choice and what matters for families and best for students. And so I think that this bill for me is just trying to get us back into line where we don't have government overreach in religious education. We've got the BESE approved still, not removing any of that. There may be a few additional standards, that came out of Act 409, but we just got to make sure it's back in place in the way it was. And so that's the intent, is to keep the parents on the forefront and making sure we don't have any government overreach in religious education. A lot of our non-publics are religious. And so that's one thing we do know, right? In Louisiana, a lot of them are.
Well, yeah, and the last thing we want to see is a stifling of opportunity for early childhood education programs, whether you talk about pre-K 3, or further on down, closer to like daycare scenarios. When you're talking about those programs, that's what's setting kids up for success once they get to grade school. But it's also, that side factor of allowing parents the opportunity to work and not have to stay home all day when you have those programs up and running. Now, Representative Chenevert, if I'm reading this right from where it says non-public school approval, your proposed law authorizes BESE to revoke its approval of a non-public school that jeopardizes the health, safety, or welfare of students. I mean, that reads kind of cut and dry.
Yes, and that was something that BESE has had the authority to do within the bulletin. And so it's really just kind of taken those things that BESE had the ability to do. It's just kind of, putting it into law, because you have BESE in their bulletins, and this is what the guidelines are for non-publics. And we do have a process. And Brian, and I want to share that we look at these situations, and, there was no evidence of a widespread problem among all of our non-publics, and I'm still working on getting some data. We may have had some issues with, child on child. I think that was kind of the discussion you had yesterday of maybe some issues in schools. But even some of the numbers I've seen, it's not even just in 3 and 4-year-old. I mean, you're looking at, we've got some numbers, but it's not even heavily in non-publics. It's more in the public and maybe in some early childhood centers. But again, I'm not even saying it's all in 3 and 4-year-olds, because I don't even know the specific data on the specific ages. So when it's a challenge to put all of our non-publics in a tough situation financially, and I'm going to say the parents, because parents are the stakeholders in non-public school, right? They get the invoice. Any change that makes anything cost more in a non-public school, that is going directly to the burden of parents. In like full stop. I mean, that's where we have to just make sure there is a difference between public and non-public. We need oversight. No one is saying we don't. We need the Bessie approval. We see what goes on in Bessie. They have that system in place. But if we begin to say, oh, we have to have licensure, you have to meet these standards, you have to have this building here, you have to, you're the same. We're going to give you a license just like these early learning centers. They are not the same. Many are accredited. Many have other accountable measures, obviously under Bessie, and that is a direct cost. And do we want to put more cost on families and education? And I would argue no. I don't want to do it for my constituents. I know that choose the non-public option.
She is State Representative Emily Chenevert. Can we set you up for a follow-up interview when if and when this bill moves forward?
Happy to do so.
Awesome. Good deal. Always appreciate the time and the clarification. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate the time.
Yep, always. We are at 8:17 at Talk 107.3 FM. Night Market BR is just around the corner. Laura Sue Nguyen's going to join us next to talk about it. Before we take that break, though, got to remind you about One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. If I'm loving this line, I've been using this line regularly. If you didn't build your home, your bathroom wasn't built for you. Neither were your closets, for that matter. How would you like customization? How would you like to walk into the bathroom that you design or you help design and you want? The bathroom that's built for you. Christy and our house was built in the 60s. Right? Clearly, the bathrooms of the 60s versus the bathrooms of today, two different worlds entirely. We called One Bath and Closets at 400-8005. Talked to David Duvall. Said, come on out. Give us an idea of what's possible over here. That's exactly what we did. That's exactly what he did. Walked us through what we were looking at, collaborated a little bit, came back with everything that we could have possibly wanted, and our dreams have come true as a result of it. It is perfection. Could not be happier with the final outcome. If you want to learn more, visit OneBathAndClosets.com. Spell out one, O-N-E, bathandclosets.com. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Good. Are you coming to Night Market this year?
It is
Saturday.
Next Saturday. I am in.
Oh no! Last time you were at graduation.
Get an ad run. I'll call you after the show. Jesus, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. We're on TV after.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
And you're on TV now too. So.
Oh, hello.
Well, just the little green light over there. All
right, I got you some flyers. Let me know if you are coming by. Happy to
So May 9th, right?
May 9th. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in Jackson, Mississippi.
For what?
AAU basketball.
Uh-huh.
I've played AAU this year, so our May is basically every weekend with a different city.
Oh wow.
I know.
Okay. No worries. Next time.
I know. Well, I said next time last time. So.
Oh, you said next time the last.
I know.
4 times.
No, 3. 3.
3.
Was it downtown last time?
Yes, it was downtown last time. It's still downtown this time.
It was at up the street before.
Fort Street.
No. That last when I went to it, it was when it was over by Electric Depot.
Oh, you went to the first one.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. So it has grown significantly.
That's what the picture showed.
Yeah. Is a year of the fire horse, and
it was a fire horse.
Fire horse is kicking my ass. I'm telling you that much.
Okay.
So basically in Chinese culture is basically the snake is supposed to be like so it's a 12-year cycle. The snake is the end of the 12-year.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was the year of the snake this year.
No, last year.
Okay.
So last year is the year of the snake. This year is the fire horse. And then basically like the snake is supposed to shed all the stuff that you needed to shed. And then the horse is all about momentum and stuff like that. So it's pretty much like, a lot of momentum, a lot of like movement, all the seeds that you've been planning for years are coming back.
Excellent.
That's what they say. So excited to see you, Brian.
Likewise.
I know there's a lot going on, so thank you so much for having me.
No, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
821 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Talking night market, Baton Rouge in just a quick second. Need to remind you about Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is their website. IndustryMakes.org. Who is Industry Makes? Well, they're the return serve for misinformation that goes after our industry sector, our manufacturing sector, the plants up and down the river, the jobs that are created, the products that are built, the services that are provided. IndustryMakes.org is where you're going to find all the information that you need to combat when somebody comes at you. For example, the myth of Cancer Alley. If you want real numbers, visit IndustryMakes.org. If you want job numbers, income numbers, healthcare numbers, IndustryMakes.org. Let everyone else make noise. We'll make everything else. Industry Makes. All right, Laura Sue Nguyen's in with us. We're talking Night Market BTR 2026. How are you, dear?
Thank you so much for having me, Brian.
Always love having you. Know it's an open door over here for you.
Oh, always.
I've never told you no, and I don't plan on starting now.
There you go.
So what is, for those that haven't been to it or seen it yet, and I can't imagine anybody hasn't seen it yet, but what is Night Market?
So Night Market is a Asian culture festival happening in downtown Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
This is our 4th year, and we're just so excited to continue to celebrate Asian culture in our city.
Okay, so that's going to open up a number of different questions. For example, what is Asian culture? There's multiple cultures within Asian culture. So
yeah,
what
absolutely.
Are we looking at?
So basically, Night Market represents every all different vendors. We have Vietnamese vendors. We also have Japanese vendors. We have a lot of different cultures just coming to Night Market and just showcasing what they have, the food, the art, everything revolving that.
We're about to get a big old influx of Korean culture because of Ascension Parish with the Hyundai announcement, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
I'm hoping they'll be taken care of out at Night Market, huh?
Oh yeah.
Right. What are some of the highlights of Night Market?
Highlights for this year?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have 40 food vendors. We have 20 art vendors. So it keeps growing. We're keeping in downtown in partnership with Downtown Development District. We're just going to have a lot of entertainment. So last year we had 7 performers. This year we have 14.
Wait, spend a moment on that. Performers doing what?
Oh, we're doing fan dancing. There's also K-pop dancing. We have singers. It's just a lot of really cool things. We also bringing a DJ from Dallas.
Okay. Very cool stuff. I know my 8th grade daughter's gonna be upset that she's gonna miss K-pop dancing, but that's is what it is. Do you have the dragons coming out again?
Yes, Southern Lotus Lion Dance.
Okay.
And percentage of the tickets always go to Southern Lotus Lion Dance for scholarships.
Very, very cool stuff. Now on the food front, I mean, we're talking about a whole lot going on. How many food vendors do we have, and what kind of
40.
breakdown is it? 40, you said. 40 food vendors.
Yes.
My gosh. Okay.
And then we have, I believe we have 27 returners, and we have 13 new vendors.
When it comes to Night Market, I mean, we see these, I don't want to say all over the country, but they've been popping up a good bit. How does Baton Rouge compare? How do we stack up? We still got some room to grow, or are we thriving?
We're thriving. I mean, people really want this. This event is just something that through our social media, through our website, our ticket buyers, people always look forward to this event. And I think that this is just something special for Baton Rouge. And then one of my mentors is from 6 to 6 Night Market, which was the inspiration for Night Market BTR. And he is you can people will come. Right. It's a destination event. So we're continuously to grow.
Tell me about the growth of the Asian community in Baton Rouge, because I feel like this is when you look at demographics and population maps and stuff like that, it's a significant portion of the population.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when we're talking 4 or 5% overall of Baton Rouge, but I mean that's I don't know how people find this place to begin with to land here.
Right. I will have to say, based on the stats from last year, 6% of the population that came into night market was actually like of ticket holders was 9%.
Oh wow.
Asian.
Okay.
Yeah, which means that it just tells you that like a lot of people were looking forward to this event.
Mhm.
A lot of people were local, but a lot of people came from different places. We have a lot of people from Houston, a lot of people from like North Louisiana coming by, and we also have a lot of people from New Orleans.
Very cool
So
stuff.
people travel for this event.
Okay. So we get the 40 food vendors. Talk to me a little bit about this DJ that's coming in. What are we expecting there?
Yeah, so we had DJ Fam. He is from Dallas. He's a really good friend of mine, and he opened up for like a lot of like EDM artists back in Dallas. We brought him in last year. Most popular like DJ that we had. So he's coming back this year again.
Growth of this festival, because its first year it was over at Electric Depot.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about how you've helped this thing evolve.
Yeah, so the first year we had it at Electric Depot, we had over like 3,500 people.
Mhm.
It was really funny because like, you know, we had way much more demand, but we couldn't fit with the space. The second year we had it at Aurora Plaza.
Right.
Yeah, we had 10,000 people. Last year we had it in front of the state capitol by like the state library and Capitol Park Museum.
Mhm.
We had 13,000 people, and I'm expecting a little bit more growth this year.
So it's in the by the state capitol again, right?
Yes, correct.
So same place you would see you get Capitol, you get State Library, you get State Museum.
Right,
That
it's
whole
that whole
area right
street.
there where in the fall, Louisiana Book Festival's out in that roughly that same spot.
Yes.
Oftentimes when you see downtown races like 5Ks and 10Ks, that's where you're gonna
Yes.
find your start spot right there. It's a very, very open spot to be
Very
sure.
open, yeah.
How quickly does it fill up?
It fills out fast. I mean, like last year, like we started at around 3,
Mhm.
and then like it started filling up like right at 6 to 8 is when like everybody comes in.
Okay.
Like there were lines right across like the buildings.
Mhm.
So like this year we're like making sure that registration is running very smoothly.
We got Laura Suen with us for oh goodness gracious, this happened fast. We got 2 more minutes to go. So for someone who's never experienced it before, give us the overall overall view of what to expect from just walking up to diving in.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, for a faster check-in, buy your tickets online at nightmarketbtr.com. Really, like it's $5 pre-sale, $10 at the door.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just come on in to the festival, like come in very open-minded, bring a lot of friends,
Mhm.
come try a lot of different vendors. The strategy that I always tell people is bring 3 to 4 friends, come and try different vendors,
Yeah.
and then like just do it family style. That's because like, you know, Asian culture celebrates a lot of family style.
Yes.
So like, you know, the more vendors you can support and eat and try different things, like it's just gonna expand your horizons.
Between the food, the art, and the music, it's going to be a
Yes.
jam-packed night. All jammed in at 6 hours from 4 to 10 p.m. on May 9th. It's Night Market BTR. Like Laura Sue said, it's nightmarketbtr. Did you say org?
Com.
Night Market BTR, because I'm already on the ticket page. So
Oh,
I'm
got
right
it.
past it. Nightmarketbtr.com is where you're going to find the link to get your tickets. May 9th. Sorry, I've had a cough all
Oh,
morning.
no worries.
Just battling through. Thank you so much for hopping on board today.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. We've got news coming up in just a little bit. Back to the top story of the day. Scott McKay is going to join us after we check news, traffic, and weather. Before that, got to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You know where to find them, right? Downtown on 3rd Street. Actually, not too far from where Night Market's
Yeah.
going to be, because the backside is 4th Street, just 2 blocks away from where Night Market's going to be. Downtown on 3rd Street, Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center on LSU's campus, or in Kenilworth, Highland and Kenilworth. Now, this weekend, of course, LSU and baseball and softball are playing at home, which means if you're tailgating this weekend, and by the time that weather rolls through, Saturday should be great for tailgating. Swing on by Mathern's. Whatever you forgot, whatever you wanted to add to, or if you want to let them cater the whole thing, they've got the catering trays available. You take advantage of that at the Mathern's on campus, the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, directly across the street from Tiger Stadium. It's Mathern's. Oh, okay.
5 seconds now.
All right. My clock was super fast on that one. I thought we were already out. Here comes news. Scott McKay from the Hayride's next.
Oh, look at that.
Sorry
You
about
crushed it. No, no worries.
No.
We always have a fun really
The problem is,
Mhm.
no, Breland, it was, you missed ABC. You're playing Sean Burns, or you're playing ABC?
No, I have the ABC on now.
Oh, I thought I heard Sean
I fired
Burns.
her off on accident. So I'm gonna get to her after.
All right, no worries.
Ah.
Oh, God, sorry about that.
No, it's all
This has
good.
been yesterday and today, just like
Postnasal
allergy
drip.
attack. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you can. share
So
with
yeah,
your friends.
we're going to be in We're going to be in Jackson unless something drastically changes. But yeah, I'll be talking about it all next week a little bit.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, always.
All righty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What happened?
That asshole. Same dude.
Oh.
Okay.
Market.com. Deborah Todd wants tickets.
Wait, who?
Deborah Todd. She listens all the. Oh, I have a hot mic too.
Yo, I turned it off. I turned it off.
Oh, you turned it off?
No,
No.
not all off. We're on Facebook still.
Oh, got it. Oh, amazing.
Nightmarketbtr.com.
Nightmarketbtr.com.
Yeah, our favorite man called and told me.
Oh.
We have a list.
Also, yesterday's newscast is playing.
I can't help that.
Yeah.
I can't help that. It's what's in the hockey.
Yeah. All right.
Got it. Okay. Bye, Brian.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. We'll chat soon. Bye. Thank you. Wait, I forgot my selfie with Brian.
Oh yeah.
Not looking sharp, not looking like over at you.
You always look good.
Okay, bye.
Favorite. Awesome.
Bye.
Bye. My bad. Fat finger.
What?
He is the rudest person I know. The dude we don't know his name.
Yeah.
The average mileage for the Western Division opponent is about 250 miles, which is certainly a sharp decrease.
You okay?
Construction officially gets underway in Lake Charles today on the new I-10 Capuchin River Bridge. Capuchin Parish Police Jury President Brian Haldane says the new bridge will be a vast improvement over the one it will be replacing.
Multiple lanes in both directions, possible biking or walking lanes on either side. I think that's still being debated.
I'm John Williams, 107.3 Baton Rouge. Sponsored by Aleve. At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day, but Aleve is here to keep you moving. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. Your pain will be back. Try Aleve today. Uses directed.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Look fresh, feel fierce, tops, lasers, tightening, and more at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. Schedule now at myuniqueaesthetics.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app.
So you play the news off the hotkey?
Yeah.
Gas.
But
right. You can earn real cash back with Upside.
that's the same news that comes out of the computer. So I'm assuming that that's on LRN. That didn't update 8:30.
No, Jeff's telling me they updated it at 8:20.
Okay. Well, I don't know why it ran out of the hotkey. Wrong. What I mean is I don't know why it ran wrong out of the hotkey.
Yeah.
Shouldn't Jeff be at work? I said, shouldn't Jeff be at work? Pull him right.
Yeah, he is at work.
Oh, he's just tuning into us. Okay.
Well, maybe he's off today. I don't know.
What? What do I do now?
Everything's converging on today. It was a motherfucker.
We saw our first round of showers and thunderstorms overnight, and we have much more on the way. For your Thursday, we're going to see spotty activity.
That should be just under $600. I'll take it.
David Allen Coe passed away.
I didn't know he was sick.
Me either.
Hey, write down this number.
Hey, we're going to come to you in about 1 minute, 30 seconds. Is this Scott? Oh, okay. Sorry, wrong number.
Bridging the gap between healthcare and hospitality, Guarantee Health Solutions is here for you. GuaranteeHealth.com is the website if you want to check them out. GuaranteeHealth.com, where they're helping healthcare organizations grow by blending the service standards of hospitality with the care delivery of healthcare. It's a simple mission, y'all, to create experiences that attract patients, build loyalty, and drive measurable growth. If you work in the healthcare field, whether you are at an urgent care, you run a primary care office, a specialty office, or talk about hospitals as well. How's the front of your office matching? How's the front of your office matching with the back of your office? And oh, by the way, what do your patients say about you? Guarantee Health, Rachel Fricke has created a 4-pillar process that has been proven to work, and you will increase your relationship with your patients. You will increase your number of patients, and grow your business the right way. Guarantee Health Solutions, GuaranteeHealth.com. Looking to connect with Scott McKay here from the Hayride. My producer is calling now. Call. All right. Looking to connect with Scott McKay from the Hayride real quick. Yesterday, you heard the big announcement about the Supreme Court ruling in Louisiana versus Calais. I talked about it in the 6 o'clock hour. We talked about it with Dr. Robert Hogan in the 7 o'clock hour. Want to get a political perspective real quick from Scott. Scott's the creator and of the Hayride. He also contributes to a number of other places as well. And when it comes to political analysis, we call on him from time to time. So I want to talk with, that's him right there. I want to talk with him about what the repercussions are. Like, are we really about to walk into a weekend where polls will be open on Saturday for early voting? Early voting literally starts Saturday. So what are we about to do when polls do open? Scott's on with us right now. How are you, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Doing very well. Appreciate you pivoting right there. I know we've been having a little bit of phone issue this morning. So let's start off with, I want to start off with what the hell's going to happen 48 hours from now when early voting opens up. Are we really going to go to the polls and vote on unconstitutional districts?
Well, we'll see what, I guess it's Terry Doty is the judge in this case. We'll see what he decides, because my initial thought on all this was, well, you know, we have a Purcell issue, and if I'm not a lawyer, but for those of us who dabbled in legal studies, Purcell is a Supreme Court doctrine that essentially means if you decide a case involving elections too close to an election, then it takes effect at the next election.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I understand it is if the Supreme Court says your congressional map is illegal, then it's illegal, and it's illegal right now.
Right.
So, like the conventional wisdom that, well, this will kick in 2028. I mean, Doty may say, no, we're not doing it that way. And he's got a pretty easy fallback on this, which is just to go back to the 2022 congressional map. You know, I mean, like that one is still valid from the standpoint of it conforms to the most recent census. So like you could do that. And if you did, I mean, obviously you're going to have to push the primaries back 30 days or something. And that means like all of this early voting, like you would throw out all of that and start over. Now, I don't know that that's what he's going to do. I think he has the option to do that. And then, you know, now you're redrawing the first, second, and third congressional districts wouldn't be affected by this, I don't think. But the fourth, fifth, and sixth probably would be.
Absolutely,
they'd have to redraw them.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, what does that do to the field? Do you qualify new candidates? I'm assuming that like Misty Cordell and Mike Eccles would run in the 5th district, and like maybe Blake Miguez, Cleo Fields, and Rick Edmonds would be running in the 6th district. Like I don't know how that works. Does Gary Graves say, well, if my old district is back, then I'm back? I mean, he may do that. It's definitely a game of musical chairs if Doty decides that, you know, okay, well, we're going to redraw the maps real quick and reset this election.
So if that's the first place I want to go, though, is like if they do push it back, you're talking about a ton of campaigning has already been done specifically for the 5th on the Republican side. There's been very, very little on the Republican side, the 6th, but a ton of campaigning was done in the 5th. And if you're pivoting and making the districts different again, then do you just you can't put the horse back in the barn on that. It's just we're way too far down the line.
I mean, you know, it's dogs and cats living together in a total chaos.
No, it is.
Well, there is a certain element of, and I'm like totally dating myself with all these 1980s references, but there's like the old Saturday Night Live, you know, never mind.
Right.
You know, the things Eccles has said about Miguez, the things Miguez has said about Eccles, and it's like, no, it's okay. We're going to be in different districts and we'll all get along. You know, I mean, that's just the nature of different elections, I guess. And we would get sort of a compressed diet of that, which would make for, you know, really interesting things. And maybe a lot of fun, but it's also a ton of wasted money.
Yes. And that was where I was going. Scott was, and by the way, Scott McKay from the Hayride. Oh, by the way, he's got a great column up on this already. Well, it takes a different tack than what we're talking about right now. But over at the American Spectator, check it out at spectator.org. Does the wasted money even come into play here, or is it just a matter of, because I mean, if you look at our closed primaries moving up from a federal perspective, that's arbitrary. We did that to ourselves. Like the Supreme Court would have no reason to care about that. Election day isn't until November, right? So
yeah, I mean, like, you know, they could say, look, if it costs you more money, it costs you more money. You had an unconstitutional congressional map, and so this is the cost of that, right? It's not like the state of Louisiana doesn't have the money to put on elections. It does. It's not, I mean, you know, this is one of these things where, you know, if you're against all of this, then you'll raise that as an objection, but it's not that big a deal. But, you know, it is kind of mass confusion for the voters, at least for a little while. And it comes like right before we're supposed to decide an election. You know, for those of us who sell ads to candidates, we're not actually upset at all. So there's that. But, you know, well, here's the thing, okay? The map that just got thrown out was a terrible map.
Yes, it was.
It had Rorschach test districts, not just in the, you know, the 6th district that John Roberts described as a snake, but the 5th district was a joke too. And, you know, Mike Johnson's district was not as clean as it probably should have been. So, you know, it's a good thing that we are able to go to something that's, you know, more non-ridiculous as a congressional map. The one we did in 2022, that got thrown out was a fairly compact map. There was actually a version of that map that was even better, but it got thrown away because Garrett Graves wanted to represent part of the coast. And so they had to, really do some maneuvering to get him a sliver of the coast as part of his district.
Right.
You can maybe go back to the map even before that, but that's all stuff the legislature would have to do, I think.
Talk with Scott McKay about the Louisiana versus Calais and the congressional map being deemed unconstitutional. Scott, if this were to go back to the state legislature, what's the likelihood that everybody would get on board with, just reverting back to the previous map? I would imagine that between the possibility of new maps, everybody's got to have their say, right? Everybody's got to put in their 2 cents. I mean, could we easily just readopt things and say, let's just get through this till the next census?
At this point, because of the sense of urgency that all this would create, I think that's actually more doable than you would expect.
Right.
Because, it wasn't an item on the legislative agenda early on. I think there are a couple of bills that would address this, so it's not like you don't have a bill. But I mean, this would be like a fast change, and where there's fast changes, they look for fast solutions. So I don't think that's an impossibility. But everybody's going to look to Terry Doty first.
Right.
Right. Because if he says, look, we're just going to go back to the 2022 map, I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. I really don't. So,
you say
if I had
that
to bet, that's what I think is going to happen, but I will put no money on it.
You say that no one would complain, but you have to start over again with qualifying at that point. You can't redraw what the 6th is and not say, we're going to start from scratch. And
well, when I say nobody would complain, what I mean is nobody would complain beyond what you would expect.
Right.
which does involve quite a bit of complaining. But I mean, what are you going to do? The Supreme Court just came in and said, hey, your map is illegal. So there's complaining about, you can howl at the moon, or right. You can, complain within the contours of what's now possible. So and there's going to be some sorting. You've got this big glob of candidates in the 5th district, at least on the Republican side, that, really kind of falls into 2 camps, right? There's Blake Miguez and Rick Edmonds in the Baton Rouge area, mm-hmm. and there's Misty Cordell and Mike Eccles in the Monroe area.
Right.
And they will be in 2 different districts as a result of what happened yesterday at the Supreme Court. So,
okay, but can we also go back to the fact that you don't have to live in the district?
Yeah, but
if I'm Blake Miguez, and I'll throw his name out there because he was the one that has caught the most flack for not quote unquote living in the district, although I believe he's over in Roseanne now. But he's the one that's caught the most flack for it. If I'm Blake Miguez and I've put in the amount of man hours I've put in Monroe, we're gonna go to 52, Brittany. If I put in the kind of man hours in Monroe that he's had to put in along this way, it's like, do I want to throw that to the wayside for something that's not an absolute requirement?
I'm going to throw it to the wayside. I'm like, well, if you're Blake Miguez and your choice is now, because let's just say we go back to the 2022 map.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Blake Miguez and my choice is I can run against Mike Eccles in Monroe, or I can run against Rick Edmonds in Baton Rouge. Based on polling I've seen, if I'm Miguez, I want to run against Eccles in Baton Rouge.
Okay, now
Edmonds in Baton Rouge.
Now let's throw Garrett Graves back into the equation.
Well, then maybe I take my ball and go home. And I'm very unhappy about that.
Right?
If I'm Blake Miguez.
No, if I were Blake, I would be as well. Because
because this is the thing. If Garrett says, hey, guess what? my district is back, and so am I. Like, that's $6.5 million in a war chest that comes back into the game.
Correct.
And if I'm Blake, like, for the same reason you didn't want to run against Trump in the Senate race, like you don't want to run against Graves in the House race,
right?
Well,
because it's not just the $6.5 million.
Situation.
but the amount of support he will have gotten because he's vindicated now. He's vindicated that he got screwed over now. And I mean, you would have people following Garrett Graves the same way Rocky had his run in Rocky 2. Like, everybody's going to be running up the steps of the Capitol the same way Rocky ran up the steps in Rocky 2. It was just Garrett Graves would be the most popular man in the state of Louisiana at that point.
Well, my reference is the old captain of the Cane coming back on board the ship at the end of the movie.
Yes.
With that grin on his face, It's like, yeah, you didn't want me, and you got Humphrey Bogart, and you really didn't like that. That's Garrett Graves at this point. So, I mean, like, if he decides that's what he wants to do, then I think that probably clears Miguez and Edmonds out.
Right.
I mean, like maybe one of them says, nope, I'm going to run, and then we'll have a real battle, and it'll be kind of fun to see that play out. But I mean, he's got $6.5 million. He's got 100% name recognition and a pretty high approval rating from the people in the district.
Right.
So, like that's a tough hill to climb if Garrett gets back in. So
maybe, it could be. Either way, though, here's the bottom line, Scott. There's no refunds on political ad buys. So we're
absolutely not. Don't even ask.
Oh my goodness gracious! All right, we got to get out of here. He's Scott McKay. Always appreciate the time, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care, Brian.
You too. Quick break. We'll close it out next. Oh, mayhem, chaos! Holy crap! There's no refunds. No refunds. We even talk about the political end with the left melting down over this. Yeah. Right. It was a them. It was a them. It was a them.
Moon again? Your favorite app, Brian, the Upthought app.
See how much did I get yesterday? I'm still processing from yesterday activity. I've earned $16.50 in April. Yeah, I earned 45 cents yesterday. Five.
Remember when they came out with this? Scott was in the car and he's like, there's nothing in life free. I guess I just need to download it. I mean, because anything's better than nothing.
Well, since I first downloaded Upside, I've earned $244.15 over the course of almost 2 years now. So every time I get over $50, I put it in an account. Bank it,
It's kind of like I use Whitney Bank and I have the platinum card. After so many points, I can cash it in and get cash.
I would do that.
Nothing to write home about,
right. All right.
Excuse me.
8:57 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Gonna get out of here in just a little bit, y'all. We're hand it off to Moon Griffon, let him try to make sense of all the garbage. I don't know how. What's the difference between a light bulb and a pregnant woman?
I don't know.
You can unscrew a light bulb. That's what Saturday's going to look like when early voting starts.
God.
That right there is what Saturday's going to look like when early voting starts.
A hot mess.
Oh, I mean, because we're less than 48 hours away.
Yeah.
From game on, like less than 48 hours away from game on, and we're going to try and get the you-know-what back in the horse. Because if you don't get the so yesterday out at the was at the state capitol for a good bit yesterday. By the way, I probably shouldn't be saying this on air. Ran into a high school girlfriend at the Capitol.
Oh
yeah.
Christy knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. But I hadn't seen her in forever. Like I've seen her husband a couple times over the years, but I hadn't seen her in forever. So she has not aged.
Oh,
I know. Crazy.
That's a win.
Yeah. So anyway, was out of state capitol talking to a number of different legislators who are like, are we going to have to put another map together? Because how could you go in knowing this is unconstitutional and have to vote for it anyway? Knowingly say that we are going to run an unconstitutional district like it's just business as usual for 2 more years. And then the flip side is like Nancy Landry has had her anthill kicked over, right? Just put all the work in. You got an election that starts, early voting starts in 2 days, and now just boom, kick the anthill over. Well, cool, start over. And then do you go back to reopening qualifying? Or do you just base things off of those who have qualified with a morphed district underneath them? Well, that don't make sense either. I don't know that we have a comp. I don't know that we have history we could look at. I don't know that there's precedent anywhere for this. What I do know is, we got to move quick in order to find out. So, all right, we're all done today. As far as the on-air portion is concerned, Moon's next. All right, Facebook, I got to get out of here. I've got like 17 things to do within the next 40 minutes. And then I've got a meeting I've got to be to off-site. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully we know more about elections then.